Welcome everybody to the Ring Generals podcast. My name is Nick Nenad. Alongside me is Eric.
What's cooking?
And the RKJ Man.
What's going on, Hypocritical Nick?
How's it going? RKJ Man? How was your holiday season? How is your holiday season going right now?
It was fantastic. It was amazing. I am so incredibly blessed. We always say that this was the best Christmas ever. Every
I do
year.
not say that every
But
single
I think legitimately it was the best Christmas ever. You got the niece who just came along a month
that's a good
ago.
point. Yeah.
Makes
you
sense.
got the dog there.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Congrats.
You got the family there. You know, my sister-in-law's families from out of town came along. It was just
cool.
it was great. It was a great time. And you know, seeing LeBron and them beat up the Golden State Warriors yesterday. And then LeBron hurt his groin, but that's okay because the Lakers still look good. Although we need to trade Brandon Ingram. But it was fantastic. I had a great time yesterday. Easy E, what's going on, man? How was your holiday season yesterday or your Christmas?
Christmas Eve was it was pretty good, interesting too. Also, Christmas Day, I think it made everything a little bit better, if anything. I've had more family members come in, and we had actually some Starbucks. I'm surprised that Starbucks is even open.
Yeah, they're always open. I try not to go to places on Christmas Day that are open.
Yeah,
Conglomerates.
some pretty good gifts. The ones that I'm wearing, like the jacket that I have. Some gifts. You know, clothes, cologne. Got a game thanks to my cousin. Thank you. And you know, a lot of good stuff. And also ate a lot. I think I gained 10 pounds, and hopefully I'll lose it by Friday.
Eric, let me ask you a question. Okay, so I see a lot of, I talk to a lot of people, Hispanic people. I was talking to a lot of Hispanic people on Christmas Eve, and they mentioned how Christmas Eve is more popular than Christmas Day.
True.
Explain this to me, because I hear this from almost every Hispanic person that I talk to. Are like, oh my God, Christmas Eve, I can't work Christmas Eve. And I'm just like, what's the big deal by Christmas Eve?
So Christmas Eve is basically, it's almost, to us, that is Christmas Day. Christmas Day, all it is
That's
to
so
us,
confusing.
it's basically we eat the leftovers from Christmas Eve because
That's what I saw.
it's also a good excuse to make a lot of good food, a big party, and we open presents at the end of the night.
So y'all like black people then?
That's interesting.
Y'all like black people then?
You guys
Yeah.
open your presents on the 24th?
No, we don't.
No,
but
we
we
do.
like to have a party. Okay, we like to have family around. We like to get drunk. Okay, we like to watch sports.
A lot of loud music.
Play video games, loud music.
Oh, yeah.
That's black people right
It's
there.
interesting because I think Canada has Boxing Day today too,
Yeah, it's
which
the
is like
26th.
their,
Also
it's a
England.
big thing.
Yeah.
England,
Oh, is that an English
Boxing
thing
Day.
too?
The day after Christmas is considered a holiday in a lot of countries.
Yeah,
a
so
lot of countries.
that's why we call this the holiday season too, because if people just don't know, there's a lot of stuff going on. It's not just the whole 25th Santa, Jesus, all that stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different stuff going on in different countries, different religions that all tie into this time.
Hanukkah,
yeah.
exactly.
Kwanzaa.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
I mean, they celebrate way before even Christmas Eve and Christmas Day hits for Hanukkah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, exactly. Yeah. So that's why, people are celebrating the whole time. It's not just here in the United States. It's
Yeah.
everywhere, obviously.
I mean, like the music was very limited here and for us in the U.S. But if we were to be in Mexico, like in my home, in the homeland of ours, oh boy, it would be all the way till like the next day. The music, the music, it's like concert wise over down there.
Is it like Mexican Independence Day?
Almost like it, and gunshots are even being fired around.
I don't like gunshots.
Oh, that's always nice. Yeah.
A
Even
black
my-
person hearing a gunshot,
even
we
my
running
gra-
away.
Even my grandma,
We
even my
ain't going to
grandma
it.
asked for a gun from my dad.
A
and my
gun?
mom. Yeah, she said,
Dude.
"When are you guys gonna buy me a gun?" You know.
Dude, I was at the fair here in locally with my mom, my brother, okay, and all of a sudden somebody threw down those little poppers or something that like makes that pop,
yeah.
Yeah, we
and like
threw those,
me
yeah.
and like and a few other black people around, we just instantly ducked, and like my brother like, hey look, all the black
Poppers
people
don't
ducked.
sound like gunshots.
I don't know,
It's a
but like we
complete overreaction.
felt like we thought, hey man, if you hear a gunshot as a black person, your instant reaction is you duck.
You totally
okay?
understand the sound of poppers.
Wow.
though.
You duck. Okay,
Yeah, you can
we
get-
heard something
you
that
can
sounded
get-
like gunshots, and everybody
Yeah,
ducked.
you can get those at the swap meet. Yeah, for a pretty good price.
We use those.
Yeah.
I was over in Arizona for the weekend, and we the last night we were there, there's a lot of poppers going on,
Oh, yeah.
throwing them across the yard at each other. trying to hit all the women and stuff with them and stuff like
Whoa,
that.
you're trying to hit women with poppers, bro?
Always, just trying to right in the face the whole time. No, I'm kidding. It's not that. That wasn't about it. Everybody was getting in onto it, but it's fun. I celebrated in Arizona and here in California, Southern California. Went to Cardinals Rams game. Saw about 3/4 of it until a couple people that I was with got kicked out.
Oh, shit.
Trying to switch seats. So that was nice.
Oh, you got kicked out?
No, a couple people I was with got kicked out.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
No, I did not get kicked out. I avoided.
Was the game in Arizona?
It
Or...
was in Arizona.
It was in Arizona.
What did I just say, Ryan?
I just wasn't really
said
paying
that I was
attention.
in Arizona.
Oh, you said you were in Arizona and California.
Yeah, but I went to the Cardinals game on Sunday. It was in Arizona.
Well, y'all got your ass kicked, so it's just,
Well, I mean,
like I don't care.
Yeah.
I tell you,
just
also-
like the Panthers.
I tell you, still got a better
How
record
many?
than y'all.
How many win? I actually
Hold on.
think if you look at the last, like, say, and we'll get into that in a second. We'll get into a
Ryan
little
Rants
later.
is coming
Ryan
up
Rants.
later.
Oh,
But,
it's a special Ryan Rants on sports because the WWE has been absolute garbage.
I disagree with that completely. I don't know what you're talking about. They literally just changed everything up and been putting title matches on Raw and SmackDown.
Let's-
You just haven't been watching, so you
hold
don't
on.
know.
Hold on. Let's talk
haven't
about
been
your
watching
talk about what
Raw
you got
that
to talk
much.
about, and then let's go on. Let's
Oh, I was
transition.
just gonna say that the Cardinals have more wins than the Panthers the last like month or
Obviously.
two. Yeah.
All right,
So
so
that's pretty sad.
I think the WWE is clearly in Christmas mode right now. They're clearly on everybody's with their families, kicking it with their families, and we'll get y'all back in January when it's time to start up the road to WrestleMania.
Royal Rumble.
The Royal Rumble. Because right now, I think the WWE has been absolute garbage. Now, Nick, you say
Explain
You
why.
tell
though.
me.
You need to give hard facts on this because they are literally trying to
okay.
put on a better product this week. I just think you haven't been watching, so you don't actually know
I have
what's
been
been
watching.
going on.
So,
you
okay.
watch clips. You don't actually.
No, I
watch
watched the
show.
whole show. I watched the whole
Okay.
show, especially after the
Did you watch
Panthers lost
TLC?
on Monday night.
Did you watch TLC?
Yes, I did watch TLC.
Okay. TLC was pretty good.
I didn't. I thought the Dean Ambrose match between him and Seth Rollins was a little bit disappointing. I heard the crowd was chanting boring.
It's only because they put him on after Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles.
But that Asuka, Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair thing has got me intrigued. And now as we head onto the road to
pretty good match.
WrestleMania, I'm starting to try to figure out what they're doing with this whole Ronda Rousey, Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch thing. So what I'm saying about the WWE's product is it's not moving forward, okay? We're going backwards. What I'm trying to say is this, okay? Vince McMahon and the McMahon family come up and take about 20 to 25 minutes of television time. Then the heel comes out. We have a conversation, do this, then we have a match. It's 30 or 45 minutes. Why can't the format of the show be a little bit different? Why is it every time we start a show and WWE starts off with a promo, somebody comes out to confront, and then we're going to have a match right now? Why can't we start off with the match? Why can't we start off with something backstage that happened? Somebody got attacked or something happened, and then it comes back to live, and then everybody's kind of freaking out, and then we have a match that's starting right now. I don't think the WWE is really looking for that change. I think they're trying to present it to the fans and saying, hey, we're changing. Now, obviously, Nick, over the past couple of weeks, the fans have been agreeing with me. The ratings for Monday Night Raw have been the lowest they've ever been. The ratings for SmackDown have been the
The
lowest
last
they've ever been.
2 weeks.
I'm
when
talking
the McMahons have been on.
The
Since TLC, have the ratings been the lowest, or was it before TLC?
it was before TLC.
Okay, so we're not talking about before. We're talking after
we're-
TLC.
The McMahon family coming in. It
Yeah.
was the McMahon family coming in, okay? And on top of that, it was the day after a pay-per-view. Ratings are always going to be up after that.
So you're telling me the next Raw on
Mm-hmm.
Christmas Eve, when they had the women's title match, a bunch of other stuff. I actually haven't seen the whole show.
Then pull up the
and they
ratings
announced
then.
and they announced there's women's tag team
I
titles
mean, on
going
Christmas
on. John
Eve,
Cena's coming back.
You think on Christmas
this stuff.
Eve there was going to be a lot of people watching on Christmas Eve?
Okay, but now I want to get Eric's take on this because we're obviously dominating the segment so far. But I think you're reacting to what happened before they made the changes when they've made the changes and you're still just kind of trying to nitpick and like.
I want to see. Look.
You're telling me that you have not enjoyed what's been going on
No.
in WWE. But is that because it was the holiday season and you weren't watching, or is it because
It was because they weren't putting up enough quality content for me to watch. And on top of that, we watched during Survivor Series or before Survivor
Yes.
Series them having Attitude Era like booking where they were booking on the fly. And I said this, if you book with the sense of urgency, you have a better show. They are not booking with the sense of urgency. Now, I think it's because of the holiday season, y'all. I think it's because of the holiday season. So I'm giving them kind of a pass right now. But once we get cranked up for the road to WrestleMania, we better see high quality content. That's all I gotta say. And the ratings show it. Before the whole Vince McMahon thing, the ratings were tanking. The only reason why I give him credit, I'm not even looking at the ratings for 2 weeks. I'm not looking for that rating for Vince McMahon and them. Why? Because I knew it was going to be a high rating. Why? Because Vince McMahon was coming back. And on top of that, it was the day after TLC. I'm not looking at the ratings for Monday. Why? Because it was Christmas Eve. Most of y'all are hanging out with y'all families on Christmas Eve, or doing something, or playing video games, or in church. Okay? So why would you be watching WWE? I'm not going to look at the ratings next week for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Everybody's celebrating. But I sure as hell will look at the ratings come the 7th and the 8th. That is the road to WrestleMania starting. That is where I'm saying, okay, you got to put on high quality content now, because January through April, I wrote this in a paper. I know what I'm talking about. January through April is WrestleMania season.
Eric, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, first thing first is the whole thing about Triple H saying that we are the authority. I thought that was complete bullshit, because at first I thought to myself, you guys are trying to dupe us. You're trying to play us all, right? And we're not really that stupid. Okay, so even me and my brother even talked about that, and we even said it ourselves. Now, as far as content quality goes, as far as wrestling for Christmas Eve, these past few weeks, it hasn't been all that. I haven't been really engaged at all. If anything, it has made me change the channel a few times, or it's made me go on a bathroom break. And I'm just being realistic for everybody here. And also the fact is that as far as ratings go for Christmas Eve, yes, it is true. It is going to be calmed down. Every Monday night, every Raw show or SmackDown that's ever landed on a Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, it's always going to be slowed down. I've known this since 2000, because I remember when I watched Raw and SmackDown back in those days in 2000, it was very slow. Even I knew that.
But they had great matches still. They had great content.
Great matches, but they weren't like the ratings weren't all that at an all-time high, because we all know that we were all with our buddies
on those days.
On those days, yes. So even WWE knew and understood that, and I'm pretty sure they're still doing this to this day. And as far as some of the things that are going with Mustafa Ali and also AJ Styles.
I love that.
I love that. The only thing that I'm concerned about is how long are they going to keep him if they're going to main event him. I'm just concerned how long are they going to keep him on until they brush him away.
Well, that's a concern, but I think I'm less concerned about that than the fact that for that Raw what was that Raw 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago, they had a women's gauntlet match.
Yeah.
And it filled up the whole entire hour, and I just didn't think it was good.
I didn't like that as much. But
I think what they try to do is they try to recreate the 65-minute man gauntlet match with, Seth Rollins. That what happened earlier in the year with the 60, and that was one of our, I think that might have been our second or third episode actually, the Ring Generals, where and you can go back and listen to it in our archives, YouTube, SoundCloud, hit that subscribe button. But like with the with that gauntlet match, it was professional. It was done very well. It was entertaining. There wasn't a lot of dead spots, and it actually meant something going towards the Elimination Chamber. And we knew it was the road to WrestleMania. Well, this one was a little weird. It was a little different, and I really don't see a woman on the Raw roster, even who's coming up. They have 6 new faces, and one of them is Lacey Evans. I don't see Lacey Evans as a woman who can try to defend, who tries to go up against Ronda Rousey. Like, her whole thing is about being a lady and, I'm going to be tough and whatnot. Well, Ronda Rousey will destroy Lacey Evans in 2 minutes, if that. So for me personally, I just look at this, like, the whole women's division is not credible enough to face Ronda Rousey. Which is why I think come WrestleMania time, you've got to do something different. We'll talk about that later, I guess.
Well, but I still want to get, Eric, I want to get your take. What did you, because I know you said you wanted to change the channel and stuff like that, but what was it that made you want to change the channel? Now, I have not fully seen the shows from this past week, but it was sure booked pretty highly, and there was some interesting stuff that came out of it.
What was interesting for you, Nick? I'm sorry, Eric.
Well, I've seen the shows fully from the shows right after the TLC pay-per-view, and obviously with the McMahons running the show and Vince there, that's going to interest me. So,
by the way, Vince McMahon does not look good.
Well, he looks old. People age.
He does not look good though.
He looks good for most people that are his age, though. I'm just saying. I mean, look better than my grandpa when my grandpa was that age. But nonetheless, I did enjoy that stuff. I enjoyed the fact that Corbin has been thrown to the wolves and all that stuff and has been taken out.
No, at least I was satisfied.
I enjoyed the fact that they're just kind of throwing titles at us and stuff like that, because that's entertaining. When I hear a title is being defended, I want to watch that show because I don't want to miss something crazy happening or something like that.
But do you really think Ronda Rousey's going to lose her title on a random Christmas Eve?
No, because Ronda Rousey whoops everybody's ass. That's why I don't think Brock Lesnar is going to lose most matches he's in, but that's why you watch the fight. We're going to talk about John Jones and Alexander Gustafsson a little later right now. I don't really expect John Jones to lose most fights, but you still watch it to see if he does. You don't expect Floyd Mayweather to lose to Conor McGregor, but you want to see if it actually happens. And wrestling is not a real actual outcome, so actually anything can happen. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's not the point. My thing is, I've liked the fact that the McMahons have been getting into it. It's different. The shows have felt different the last couple weeks than the boring, here's the heels taking over the show, stuff like that. And they figured that out. It's the first time, to be honest, they've realized that they've had to change their product in recent years. So I think the acknowledgement of that, a lot of the big-time title matches going on, and the big booking is what's entertaining. I don't know what you guys don't find entertaining about title matches and different style of booking and new superstars.
Eric,
what do you guys want to see? Do you guys want to see Brock Lesnar on every show? Do you want to see The Rock come back?
I want to see something.
It's too high.
That's going to make
too high of a ceiling.
Eric, tell me about it, because Nick was going to ask you a question. He was going to ask you what made you want to take a bathroom break, change the channel, and also what would you be interested in seeing moving forward as we get towards the road to WrestleMania?
Okay, so the things that usually made me change the channel are usually the fact that they would actually have tag team matches, but non-title tag team matches. The non-title ones.
But when you say usually, are you talking about before TLC or after TLC? Because I'm talking about but I'm not talking before. I'm talking about since they've done this kind of different style of booking. And you guys are not giving me an answer. You keep reverting back to when they had bad ratings and they changed the product because they had bad ratings.
So let me tell you what I want to see. I want to see a built-up tag team division that's credible. Something that makes me invest in the tag team division. I want to see a credible women's tag team situation being built up. They just announced championships on this past Raw. Santa Claus, Vince McMahon Claus, whatever he calls himself around this time. He announced new tag team champions not new. They're coming back. They were actually previously in the WWE history before.
I didn't know that, actually.
Yeah. Mickey James had to educate everybody on her Twitter. I saw that this morning. So the fact of the matter is this. I want to see new tag team divisions, or a better tag team division for women and men. I want to see characters built up. I want to see Finn Balor in a credible feud. I want to see him, instead of feuding with everybody and just randomly having him in matches and whatnot and having no direction.
I agree with that.
I want to see him do something, because I think he has a lot of potential. When is the Demon coming out? I need a feud where Finn Balor is forced to become the Demon. He randomly became the Demon at SummerSlam. I thought they missed a big chance last year at WrestleMania to become the Demon. Hopefully this WrestleMania, he's the Demon.
Okay, so...
Why not have him face The Undertaker? Demon versus the devil or the Demon of Death Valley.
No, but The Undertaker kind of needs a huge feud against the Cena or someone like that.
Yeah.
There's no more putting people. I mean, Finn Balor is like almost in his 40s. What are we talking about?
I need Finn Balor. Okay, I'm just throwing something out there.
Yeah.
Why not have some entertaining, interesting storylines? We are so used to seeing, and it was working with McMahon versus Austin because it was new, it was fresh, it was organic.
But here's the thing, though, because I feel like you guys do live in the past a lot on this podcast, and maybe it's because I started watching 5 or 6 years after you guys started watching
You
wrestling.
weren't watching live during the Attitude Era.
I was not watching. I've gone back and watched it, and
it was a great time.
That stuff is not going to happen because that was a different style of TV. There was not as many channels. There wasn't as many reality shows. Our generation has got stupider.
And that's what I'm saying, Nick. I'm saying, why are we going back to the whole... Okay, the authority figure is the problem. The authority figure. So now I've got to have somebody... That storyline is played out. Nobody wants to see that. And honestly, nobody wants to see the McMahons on television. We respect their roles behind the scenes. People like Triple H, the NXT director, more than they like Triple H, the wrestler. I have a lot of people, on social media and behind the scenes, even when we went to go at the No DQ party, a lot of people were talking about how, I respect Triple H for taking over NXT. Man, what he's doing with NXT is great. NXT is destroying the main roster product. Man, it was awesome. A lot of people respect him for that. We don't want to see him necessarily on our televisions consistently, especially right now in 2018, especially when you need to build up other superstars. I am frightened for these superstars from NXT coming out. I saw Velveteen Dream tweet, make your voices be heard, and then he erased it.
Yeah,
hopefully somebody got to him and be like, do you really want to go to the main roster right now? Do you really want to go to the main roster with the history they have with NXT? I thought Finn Balor was going to do something. He hasn't done jack. I thought Bobby Roode was going to be good. Really, nothing's progressed with him. Okay. Who else? Who else?
Tyler Breeze.
Tyler Breeze, Apollo Crews, The Ascension, Samoa Joe. Good Lord! Like nearly all of them have been bust. Okay, this is like in the NFL. If you were a GM in the NFL and you were drafting and every draft pick was a bust, you would get fired after 2-3 years, bro.
At least they're doing something with Corbin. At least.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Corbin was different because he came in with some credibility playing football, and he had a great look to him.
He's a good moveset too, actually.
Good moveset. Yeah, that's true. Good. They put a cool theme song behind him. So I don't want Velveteen Dream going. Eric, your boy Aleister Black needs to stay in NXT.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm sorry. Your boy needs to stay in NXT because I think going up to the main roster,
that's why
it's going to be a disaster.
I love the guy and all. And that's why I'm concerned. I know
he wants to be close to his wife, Selena, allegedly.
But don't you guys... but don't you guys... I forgot about that. Don't you guys...
Shout out to Aleister Black, man.
think that when they discuss this, how they're going to change things, they're going to put people on TV that you want to see, and they're not going to try to push their own people a la Roman Reigns type. I mean, they, like we've said in the past, they kind of got lucky that Roman Reigns is not on TV anymore, because I think there'd be even more complaints when people just hated his character.
As far as like right now goes, I really think, and also about living in the past, we're all about moving forward, Nick, too.
Yes, of course.
So we're all about moving forward.
About that.
And I've actually said this before, not on the podcast, but I've also said it to myself, that the whole Attitude Era, I just want to move forward from it because I'm tired of them shoving it down my throat.
So you guys don't like the Attitude Era?
I love the Attitude Era, but I'm tired of hearing about it all the time.
And
because
they're shoving,
and you know
maybe
why?
I'm misunderstanding what you guys are
shoving
saying.
it to our throats, saying that this is what we remember and this is what we remember. We're like, wait a minute, we don't remember. Okay, it was a good time, but can we move forward? And they keep doing it.
I remember, like I said this earlier, I think this year, where it's like the Attitude Era is phenomenal. I love it. I don't mind watching about it. I don't even mind listening to it on podcasts. I love Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard. I love 83 Weeks with Eric Bischoff. My only issue is the fact that they rely so much on the Attitude Era because their current product is just not good.
Yes.
Hey, you don't like our current product? You're not going to watch the pay-per-view because you think it sucks and you think the booking sucks and you don't like the matches?
Yeah.
It's okay. We got this Attitude Era content that you're going to like. So, pretty soon, in 15, 20 years, they're all going to be too old or they're going to be dead or whatever's going to happen. Well, Vince McMahon just can't come out. I mean, you're going to put Vince McMahon in a wheelchair out at 90 years old, 91.
On his deathbed.
On his deathbed to come out there and do a storyline. He's not going to be able to get slapped by AJ Styles or hit by AJ Styles like we saw yesterday.
That was good.
And that was good.
Yeah.
That was something that was entertaining. But once again, where are we going from? It seems like we get these big time things that happen.
Yeah.
I haven't really been intrigued with WWE storylines, really invested in the product since the summer of Punk 2011. I'm telling you right now, everybody, my brother even said to me, man, he went in on that. That is some stuff that I would even want to watch. Because CM Punk during that time was phenomenal. The Money in the Bank pay-per-view 2011, I pirated that shit. It was awesome, okay? It was great.
Yeah.
Okay, so the fact of the matter is this, like, we want those times. We don't want CM Punk back necessarily. We just want the times where CM Punk and things were unpredictable are back in the WWE again. But I have a question for you guys, and I know we got to move forward soon.
Yeah.
It's a good discussion, though.
Is this whole issue with the WWE and the confusion right now over who the top superstar is, okay, and what's going into WrestleMania, is it almost in the storyline, is this making you miss Roman Reigns a little
Well,
bit. Now that you think about it, maybe Roman wasn't the problem.
I never was a. I mean, you guys know it took
yeah.
me a while to be. It does. I always give people a chance.
It was
Yeah,
Royal Rumble 2016 when he came out number 30.
Yeah.
That's when you hated him.
no, that wasn't even 2016.
That was
It
2017.
No, 2017 when he came out of 30, I was like, "F this guy."
Yeah,
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 I
didn't
remember-
like it.
I am done. Like,
We
Yeah.
haven't
I
even
I don't want-
formed the podcast yet. I remember you just randomly
Yeah.
told me I hate this dude.
But-
Dude, yeah, no, but you know what it is? I don't think that's the thing because I think there was more people that disliked him than liked him. I think with Cena, with his thing, there was actually more people that liked him, and the people like us and the people that we meet at these events. The more hardcore fans hated him, and they were just more louder. But John Cena is. I don't even think Roman Reigns was respected until, unfortunately, what happened to him kind of puts a little more respect
Right.
on it because they know what he was going through, stuff like that. But
Joe.
yeah, I don't think people respected Roman Reigns. People always respected John Cena. People respected Randy Orton. People respected people in Triple H, people like that ran the show.
Well, I think it's a situation as you get older, people respect you more because they see you as they see you as a person who has been in the business. You're tried and true. You know what you're doing. You gain the respect of your colleagues. They'll respect you over time. It's happened with us and John Cena. We hated him at first. We hated him throughout the years, and now the more and more he leaves and goes back, we're like, okay, all right, we miss you now. Eric, what were you gonna say? I'm sorry, I didn't want to cut you off.
What I was going to say is
apologize.
that, yes, I do sort of miss Roman Reigns, but also at the same time, also going back to Nick's original question he was going to ask me about what could improve Raw.
That was so long
If,
ago.
if anything, I think this is a chance for the guys like Drew McIntyre who should seize that opportunity quick. They
Yeah,
should do
I want
something.
McIntyre
So,
to be
I'm
in the
hearing-
title
and
match.
and
Yeah.
Elias.
So I'm hearing
And
a lot.
Elias.
I'm hearing a lot of rumors right now. Obviously, we're starting to get towards WrestleMania. People are starting to figure out what the card is. Okay, well, who's going to be the main event? My issue is this.
Rousey versus somebody.
Well, Road Warrior Animal doesn't want it to be Becky Lynch, and he doesn't want any women main
Well, that's his
eventing.
opinion. I think.
That's, I mean, yeah, that's.
But
I love him and all.
We're
but
not
I
gonna
think
get
that's
into.
we're
yeah.
not going to get into that.
They're not gonna-
He'd be a good Ryan Rant, but I don't feel like going to Road Warrior Animal. He's irrelevant right now anyway.
Yeah.
Damn. I think
Someone's a
I
good
lost
linebacker though.
Damn, I think I lost what I was going to say.
Where'd he go? Yeah, where'd James Laurinaitis go? He wasn't he
Johnny
pretty
Ace?
good. He was a pretty no. The
Oh,
linebacker.
no, he's with the Bella Twins' mom.
The linebacker
Oh, yeah.
with the Rams. No.
Oh, yeah,
No,
yeah,
the Road Warrior Animal's son.
Mm-hmm.
He was a player for the Rams, and when they came to LA, he never came over. He just like
Oh, really?
They let him
retired.
go.
Did he retire?
I think they let him go, bro.
Well, no, but did he end up? Because I thought he was still a pretty good player. I don't know. I was excited about that. I was like, yo, WWE
Well,
guy.
He'll be in the XFL.
Yep, damn
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
2020.
there you go.
Damn
He's
right, he
training
will.
right now for the
Yeah.
XFL.
Yeah. Okay, so I wanted to discuss. This is a
forgot
good
what I was
discussion.
gonna say.
This is good discussion too. Maybe we could do.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
I know what I was going to say now.
Okay, go
One
ahead, yeah.
second. I'm hearing rumors that Vince McMahon wants Braun Strowman, I think Drew McIntyre, to main event WrestleMania.
Braun Strowman and Drew McIntyre.
No, he wants Drew McIntyre, I heard.
Oh, okay.
Allegedly.
Drew McIntyre.
And then
looks
Triple
like
H,
he's on
Triple
that,
H
yeah.
is arguing for Braun Strowman. One of them has one, the other one has another. So there seems to be like a push and pull between those two right now, and I think what's happening right now is they're trying to see which one is over more. Is it Drew McIntyre? Is it Braun Strowman?
I think
Who's
there's
gonna
more. I think there's more for Drew. There's more momentum.
Yeah,
for him.
but see, I disagree. I actually think it's for Braun.
Braun,
But it's
yeah.
hard to say because one's a full heel and the other one is
A full
more of
baby.
a tweener. Not
Yeah.
full baby face though. I mean, he's still kind of.
But do you think over time that Drew McIntyre?
dropping stuff on people?
Do you think Drew McIntyre over time he'll get more loved later
Well,
on?
McIntyre for me is one of the best performers in the company right now too, which I think a
He
lot of
looks
people
legitimate.
respect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas Strowman's still kind of raw. A lot of his matches,
Oh, because of his injury?
there's not much of a cap. You're not going to see a 40-minute classic with Braun Strowman. It's going to
No.
be a 15-minute classic. McIntyre could go 40 minutes with a star like an AJ Styles, someone like that. I'm not starting any rumors or anything but like that, but he could go in there with a star and really put on that classic WrestleMania match. Where Strowman, it's more of a non-main event, more of a Goldberg, Brock Lesnar, a real quick one.
Yeah.
That doesn't end up, that long.
I think in this era now, if you don't have the wrestling skills, you're at a detriment.
And I'll say this is what I was trying to say the whole time. I think that is one of the reasons. There's two things why I think the product is suffering, as has been lacking for the last couple of months or years, whatever you want to say. It's because I think there's a lot of guys that are either not talented enough in the ring, Enzo Amore, Ryback, a lot of these guys that hurt people and stuff like that, but they're really good on the mic. And then there's people that are really good in the ring, but awful on the mic. And there's no guy that's just like.
He's
both.
got it. He's got it both. I think
McIntyre's pretty good.
Yeah.
Elias is pretty good. Elias is a little more raw, but he's not a bad wrestler.
I think
that's the problem.
I think there's a lot of great wrestlers on this roster. I think this is the best the WWE has roster-wise, honestly, and I'm not even talking Attitude Era. I'm talking New Generation Era. New Generation Era, you got Shawn Michaels, you got Bret the Hitman Hart, you got the whole Hart Foundation, you got other tag teams there. Like, New Generation Era has some pretty solid wrestlers. And then Hulk Hogan was even there for a cup of tea in that New Generation Era, I guess, for a quick moment.
Although back then, though, people still thought wrestling was kind of real.
Well, until Vince McMahon came
Well,
out.
Exactly.
So,
but
like we said,
different.
But they made it more
time.
athletic.
Absolutely,
What I'm saying
yeah.
is,
Well, I know different.
It's too
product.
athletic now. It's almost fake. It's almost fake because of how athletic it is. Like a guy jumping over the ropes with these little flips, like the one Sami Zayn or Finn Balor do. That doesn't hurt anybody. If someone did that to you in real life, it would hurt a little bit. But like one of these Batista bombs or like a pedigree would really hurt you.
Yeah.
like the
or a damn F5.
Yeah, exactly. That would hurt you. You're landing awkward on your shoulder. Yeah. It's like, it's a lot of these moves now. There's too many super kicks. Finn Balor's move, I get it's a kick from the top rope, but it's like, would that really finish you in a match?
Yeah.
Like, would that, these are like, they're starting, I don't know. I think it's almost too athletic to where people expect more, but then there's a lot like, I don't know, but it goes back to my point. I think there's just, nobody's really the same. There's too much differentiality, and that's why there's no clear star. Because there's not enough like of the same type of dudes. So people like different things.
And guess what? And that's the reason why the women are taking over this
Damn
roster.
right.
Yeah.
I was going to say this. You talk about NXT. The women that have come up from NXT, though, most of them have succeeded.
Yeah.
Becky Lynch, Charlotte, Sasha Banks, Bayley. They've won titles. They
Sasha
may not
Banks
be
is going down. Bayley's
but
going
she's
down.
won. How many titles has she won? 4?
Well, yeah, that was when her and Charlotte Flair were just trading the title in
But there's been
2016.
times where Randy Orton and other people who are legends in the business have not been that top, stuff like that. Asuka now is being vaulted ahead. I think this is one of those people that they've realized, okay, we're not doing well. Another person like Cien Almas, I think, is going to be pushed forward.
in 2019.
Exactly.
It just depends on how much confidence they have in their wrestlers. So I think at this time right now, they say that, okay, I think Asuka, I think we're going to trust her with the title.
Well, I think it's also about marketability too.
It's a speaking issue though too. That's what I'm talking about. Great in the ring, terrible on the mic.
But I think it's also marketability. Like, who's going to look better on the day after WrestleMania when we got to go on the Today Show and proceed to be shown in front of millions of people? Is it going to be Becky Lynch with the red hair talking in that Irish accent and people in America don't understand Irish accents?
But people love her.
That's not true.
People love
Irish accent. They speak English.
My sister-in-law,
That's a you issue. That's not.
I can't understand most. I can't understand most accents. Most accents I cannot understand. Charlotte Flair. Oh, she's Ric Flair's daughter. Oh, she's very pretty. She speaks well. She talks well. She acts like a legitimate queen. So this is what. When we might not think about it, we might say, oh, they're only listening to crowd reactions. Bullshit. They're thinking about who can look good in front of a TV camera with 15 million people watching on the Today Show or Good Morning America. Who's going to look better on TV? Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. And I'm sorry to say this, y'all. Becky's attractive, but Charlotte Flair can hold her own in an interview.
I think Vince said that one time. He says it, and this is where you make your money. It's what you do with it.
Absolutely.
He said that. Interview.
Yeah, no, it's
He even admitted it.
See, I've said this before too. I don't want to get too far into this, but we're gonna get in trouble. But if I've said this, and even more to your point, who are you gonna put on the Today Show? Asuka, who can barely speak English, right? Literally barely can speak a lick of English. I disagree with the Becky Lynch thing because I think that's a you issue. with accents. I don't think anybody else has that issue.
I have an issue with accents. Americans have an issue with accents,
But I don't
bro.
think
You
they're
try
gonna have an issue.
I think me and Eric.
Anytime somebody comes through in the drive-thru with an accent, they got to repeat their order to me about 3-4 times.
Well, see, that's a person.
That's okay. That's something else, man.
Like 3-4 times, they got to, like.
See, this is why we tear the issue apart.
And I'm just like, I'm sorry, I can't understand you. Can you repeat that again, please?
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, I have trouble overall with people speaking on the phone to me.
Oh yeah.
Like it's not accents, but like you throw an accent in there, it's difficult. But in real life, no, I don't have. I mean, if you're saying words, if you say words that I've never heard in my life, then yeah. But Becky Lynch, I know I could recite her promo if you told me to, and I could study it. There's no Andretti Cianolmas, not necessarily speaking. He's speaking
That's
all
why-
Spanish. You
that's-
might be able to.
I heard he
but I
speaks
can't.
English.
Well, no, he does. We've heard him
No,
speak
I
English
mean,
in real life.
well, look, when it comes down to like,
In and out.
Literally, we
At
heard
In and
it.
Out, we were right down the street,
I mean-
right down the way from him.
I mean, that's why you got to have like a manager like Selena Vega to translate and also talk everything.
Yeah, but
you know.
Vince doesn't like managers. He never. That's
It's
the
dumb.
whole
That's
thing.
a stupid.
That's
That's
stupid.
stupid. Yeah.
He doesn't
exactly.
like managers. Why would you not want to have a manager out there? Because I think what he thinks is the manager takes away from the wrestler.
So you're saying that
But they add to the wrestler because the wrestler can't speak. If you have a manager with Asuka, which would be weird because it's a woman and generally you don't see a lot of male managers. They're not on the weak side. If you look back in the past, there's a lot of weak looking men who have been with women. And I think that's to prop the woman up.
Is that like-
you're not gonna put some 6'7", 280-pound guy who's speaking for it? Just doesn't. That's not the look that makes.
We're
a lot of
talking about
sense.
managers wise,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. That's not
'cause
the
I was-
look that makes.
I
a
was
lot of
thinking
sense.
Mark Merrow and Sable back in the day with their situation.
That's
But
a little different. That's one of the rare
that's-
ones.
That's
Yeah.
different.
That's one of the
okay.
rare ones. Or if someone was with China or something like that, that'd be
That
a
was
little
Triple
different.
H
that
in
was
China.
Triple H in China. Yeah.
But if you have these with nowadays a lot of smaller women in the WWE, you're not going to see these giant men. So it's hard to pick. You're hard to maybe an Enzo would work out with a woman, right? Because smaller in stature.
Nia Jax. Just kidding.
That's a little different.
It wasn't much of a
We haven't
manager.
seen a lot of the Nia Jax types in WWE before,
Yeah.
but.
Let's not talk about Nia Jax.
No,
she
we're not
always
talking
ticks
about
me
Nia
off.
Nia Jax.
She
I'm
needs-
so glad she lost the TLC.
Oh, yeah.
And I haven't
Yeah.
seen her on my
So-
television, and
I'm so
I'm very
happy.
happy about that. She needs to be somewhere in the performance center.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
okay.
Yeah. But so
Happy
it's,
holidays, Nia.
it's tough.
From the RKJ, man.
You want to say happy holidays to Corey Graves too?
Happy holidays, Corey Grace.
Daniel
From the
Bryan.
RKJ, man.
Brie Bella.
Daniel and Brie. Total Bellas is probably going to suck this year.
John Cena.
You know what? I don't mind John Cena anymore. I'm going to go see that movie Bumblebee. I heard good reviews.
But is that the one about the Is that like the
Transformer.
Transformers?
It's the
Transformers, yeah.
Transformer one.
Interesting. Yeah. You know what's funny is a lot of movies with wrestlers. This is totally off topic. A lot of movies with wrestlers.
We're so
Oh,
off
oh yeah,
topic.
I know. It
It's the
doesn't-
holiday
This
season,
is a good
man.
discussion though,
Whatever.
so I'm gonna keep it going.
can
I'm gonna
always
keep it
change
going.
that.
But like when The Rock is in a movie or like John Cena is in a movie, I always just want them to do their moves in the movie. So
Right.
it kind of pisses me off when they don't.
Dude, I saw Reno 9/11 last night with my
Okay.
family. Y'all ever seen that?
I've never seen it. No, is there wrestlers in it?
It was The Rock in it.
Oh,
and he
really?
only
Oh,
was in
wow.
it for
I did not know
dude.
that,
yeah.
You can look it up on YouTube. He literally only lasts for about a minute or two, and then he dies.
Oh man.
this disrespect of wrestlers in film.
No, but that was like early Rock. That was really
See, that's
early
why I
Rock
like-
in the movie
Yeah.
industry. That was 2008, 2009.
Yeah, but like I don't want to see The Rock, on a sailboat in a what do you call it?
In a suit or
No, the Moana. It's animated. Animated. I don't want to see
Animated,
animated.
Well, Braun
Rock.
Strowman is in
I
that
want to see
little.
Rock. Rock bottoming people's elbow.
We did
It's
that,
a
no?
dumb bias I have.
I think I saw Goldberg spear somebody in the movie. What was it? Universal Soldier: The Return. Back in
and see, that would make me happy because I'm like,
1999.
that's realistic.
I think he did do a spear, and like me and my dad, we were watching. My dad's like, "Hey, look, it's Goldberg, Eric." I'm like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's Goldberg, Universal Soldier."
But what always pissed me off was like you see Stone Cold in the movie, like The Condemned, and he's not doing the stunner.
No.
Yeah.
He's not doing the stunner. I want to see the stunner.
If anything in that movie, he should have did multiple stunners.
Stunners.
Because they're
Yeah.
literally fighting for their lives.
Yeah.
Right.
So I would
Come on, man,
expect
you
to
kick
see
him in the stomach, they lose their breath, and then you pump their neck.
Yeah.
They hit him with the
So
stunner.
that's a dumb thing, but I just wanted to mention that like Bumblebee, Cena better be hitting an F or
Yeah.
a nephew or maybe putting people in.
Yeah. I think I did.
AA or whatever the hell it's
STFU.
called.
Yeah,
I think I did
forgot all the moves.
I think I did see Vader do the Vader bomb in the Boy Meets World episode.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
That's good.
Shout out to that Boy Meets World episode and R.I.P. to Vader, man. Too many people lost in 2018 from the wrestling industry.
Absolutely.
Man.
That goes to your point where, the attitude era is because stuff's going to start to go away because a lot of the guys are dying.
They're dying,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah,
a
a lot
lot.
of
If you look at WrestleMania 17, I guarantee you look at half of that card, they're dead. Or even who was
WrestleMania
scary.
17?
I'm talking about the greatest WrestleMania of all time, Nick. I'm talking about WrestleMania 17
X7, 17.
in
yeah.
Houston. The WrestleMania where you literally only had to watch the intro and watch it as it's coming on and hear JR's voice with the Titantron lighting up and everybody going crazy and the pyro, and literally we went crazy.
That was the
and we
first-
only watched 5 minutes in
that was
just the intro,
I think
Nick.
I think that was the first time I actually saw like a stage so big because I used to be like so into big stages, and I just said to myself, "Oh my God, that is a huge ass stage right there that they did for WrestleMania 17."
So
Okay.
looking at the card here, not a lot of these people are dead.
China, dead.
China's dead. Eddie Guerrero's
Grandmaster
dead.
Sexy, done.
Test.
Dead.
Chris Benoit.
Yeah, we
Sure,
know what
Chris
happened
Benoit.
with him.
Yeah. Is Hillbilly Jim dead?
I don't know.
He's not in the Hall of Fame.
But I know it was Eddie Guerrero against Test.
Yeah,
I mean, both of them are dead.
That's scary, dude.
I'm
That's-
surprised Perry Saturn's not dead.
That's
He was homeless
messed up,
for-
That's
Nick.
messed up.
Yeah,
That's
he
messed up,
was-
Nick.
Absolutely.
Damn it, man.
Have you heard his stuff though? Have you ever heard his kayfabe commentary stuff?
No, I've not heard.
Man, that guy
kayfabe.
used to do the most drugs out of
I
anybody
love- I
besides
just-
Sandman maybe.
I just watched Bruce Pritchard on kayfabe commentaries and loved it.
But was it guest booker?
Yeah, I guess. But
Oh, I haven't seen that yet. I'm gonna watch. I want to watch that.
Yeah, I'll send you the link tonight.
Okay, but nonetheless, all right. Any last thoughts on this? Because we obviously need to move on. But this was a good discussion, so I want to.
Let me ask you a question. What y'all think is happening for the main event of WrestleMania?
It's a
I
little
think
bit-
it's going to be either Rousey versus
Make a
Becky
decision.
Lynch or Charlotte. I don't know
Make a
because
decision. Tell me right now. Who is it? Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey or Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey? Right now. Tell me what it is
triple
right now.
threat. Triple threat. One of them's going to
That-
win the Rumble. This is what I was thinking about the other day. One of them's going to win the Rumble, and the other one's just going to get into the feud somehow.
They're just gonna cross brands.
Like, remember when Triple H he got kicked out of the Royal Rumble that one year, and he destroyed the stage and started beating the hell out of everybody in the back, and they just put him in the Royal Rumble. It's gonna be one of those things where Becky or Charlotte's just gonna start wreaking havoc, and then they're gonna be forced to be put into the match.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. So
that's only
Okay.
because I don't know. So I'm saying triple threat, and then maybe you give a month from now Royal Rumble. Then obviously there's
who. Okay.
Well, that's
All right.
bad. You can't wait for the
Yeah.
Royal
All
Rumble.
right, Eric. What's your main event? It doesn't have to be the Becky Lynch Ronda Rousey thing or Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair. Even though I think that's where they're going. What's your main event, men
Well,
or
way
women?
to put it in his head before he gets his guess.
Okay. Still too early to tell. I do believe yes.
Jeez Louise,
yes,
Eric.
yes, I do
How
know.
much longer do we have to
Okay.
wait?
No, see,
the Royal
we don't
Rumble.
know.
I
The
am
Royal
being,
Rumble is the
I
end
am
of
being real, dude.
January.
I
He's
am being
forcing us
real.
to make a
It is
decision
the
that we
end
don't
of
know
January. We are just around
Okay,
the corner.
okay.
about. December.
Okay.
It's the end of December. right
Anybody
now.
out there want to correct me and Nick and the RKJ man?
please.
Go for it. Please do. I'm going to have to go with either Becky or Asuka to face Charlotte because I think they're going to have to make a decision between those two to go up against Charlotte. I really think that one of those two
Really?
are good candidates.
minute.
knowing how WWE they are, they're going to probably do that. They're going to stick to those three women.
So you don't think Rousey's in? Who do you think Rousey's facing then?
I think Rousey's going to face off against Natalia. I think they're going to do
Oh,
something.
right. WrestleMania?
Continue this?
Because right now,
No.
as of right now, they're like good buddies and all. But
That
wait,
could.
wait
I mean,
until
obviously I've never thought of that.
I
And
thought about it.
I'm
Wait
trying to figure out this
until-
thinking, but. If
But I heard
let's
that
say
the-
Natalia gets really mean for the first
Yes,
time ever,
just
something like
wait,
that,
yeah.
that could actually be because me and my brother. I'll tell you this: when we watched TLC a week back, and we saw Natalia in that match with Ruby Riott, and it was the first time where we actually kind of enjoyed a Natalia match ever since that SummerSlam match a couple of years ago, where we were like,
What SummerSlam match? I don't remember.
she was in a SummerSlam title. She was in a SummerSlam title match.
Against who? Naomi?
I don't remember, but I think she was the first time she won in a while.
okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
but
I don't
it was
remember.
no. So
Sorry.
what we were saying is Natalia. If you look at her in-ring ability, it's kind of old school, but it's really good.
Yeah.
And if you can get past the stupid cat stuff, and her weird personality and the fact that she's just a really, really nice
No.
person, she's actually could put on a great match and
No,
could
her
put on a
style-
great feud. So if she were to change completely and be just this vicious heel who's really mean and changes her
Yeah.
gimmick and all this stuff, that could be very interesting. But that's kind of far fetched.
That's kind of far fetched, and
Yeah.
I heard that they were going to try to turn
Hey, but
Natalya
that's his
heel,
guess. You made us do our
She-
guess.
but the death of her father kind of messed it up. They can turn her heel.
Well,
after her
Maybe
father
she goes,
passed
"My
away."
father was holding me down." You know,
Yeah,
something
she
like
can
that.
do that, and by getting a lot of heel hate, and also credit to her wrestling style coming from like being one of the last students of the Hard Dungeon. So that
Exactly.
basically she can match up the style up against Rousey's style, which I think could be main event wise.
Yeah, because that match, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
That match with Ruby Riott was actually pretty solid. The way they booked it, the way Ruby Riott
Yeah.
was such a heel, bringing her dad's table out, which was like uncomfortable to watch the whole time. Because I
yeah.
really did not want anybody to go through it.
Oh, she
and
knows
go
how-
through
yeah.
Jim the Anvil Neidhart. You know.
Well, Ruby knows how to get the
Yeah.
crowd riled up.
Exactly. And
I
so
respect Ruby as a heel.
yeah, and Natalya did a good job of playing the babyface, but not that ridiculous babyface she plays sometimes, where like it's almost hard to respect her, but she's too nice. And that's why I was hoping she'd kind of not shake Rousey's hand on Raw last week and stuff like that before she had her match with her and stuff. I was like, come on, to create some like I don't want to see
You want to
friendship
see some
matches.
heat.
Yeah, Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles last year. I want to see
although
some
we-
heat.
Although, when is Alexa Bliss coming back to?
We
wrestling?
don't know when Alexis Bliss
Do you
is
think
coming
she'll
back.
be?
Yeah, that's
she'll be-
interesting.
I
you
do
think she'll
think
be
she
healed up by WrestleMania
by the Royal Rumble
or Royal Rumble?
I'm hoping,
She
but
has to be. I mean, they don't have a lot of women. They're not going to put all these old women in it like last year. They got to stack up the roster.
the main event of WrestleMania 35 in New York City is going to be Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch.
Oh, you changed your mind. I thought you were totally going to say Charlotte.
I was saying Charlotte for pretty much
Yeah.
all of 2018
can
since
make
April.
It can
I
make
hope it's Natalya versus Rousey, just so you're completely wrong the whole year.
Yeah,
Because I've been making fun of you the whole year about it.
About-
So I
about
hope
that.
he's right.
and then now as far as the men,
I'm just kidding.
the men's go. WWE's gonna be stubborn, and they're gonna probably keep the title on Brock Lesnar by that time.
Of course.
Yeah, and they'll
And-
probably still have Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, to be honest.
They're so
Somehow he'll
desperate.
come back.
Like they're so desperate right
haven't
now
learned their
for.
lesson.
They don't know what they're doing for the men's title matches. I have no clue what Daniel Bryan's going to be involved in for WrestleMania.
It's
time.
interesting. I like that, though.
I don't know I don't know who is he facing. Oh my God, is he facing Jeff Hardy? Is he facing AJ Styles again? Is AJ Styles going over to Raw to face Brock Lesnar? And then
Ron the
Seth-
Truth.
you know?
Ron the Truth Killings. Just kidding.
Hey, R-Truth's the 30th entrant in the Royal Rumble.
Yes,
Yeah,
he's
he's
got-
got, he's got an advantage.
I don't think early prediction. I don't think R-Truth ever gets into that match. I think there's another person
Somebody
that attacks
beats him up
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
comes
exactly,
in as number 30.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
No, exactly. But all right, we do need to switch topics though. Those are interesting guesses. We went way long on that segment, but it was a good discussion, and
Great
we'll probably
discussion.
have that discussion.
Yeah.
Shout outs.
Way longer. But that's why I want to talk about that on this podcast because I knew I would disagree with at least you. I didn't think you'd have that same view, but it made for more content. All right, Eric, we're gonna do the end of the segment, keeping with the wrestling, but we're gonna switch up.
We
into
are.
some different
And I
stuff.
do have a question for you at the very end for both of you guys.
Good.
Okay, so NWA pop-up event, New Year's Clash, January 5th, will happen. Matt Cross, who is known as Son of Havoc from Lucha Underground, is going to take on the NWA National Champion, Willie Mack. And Jazz, the women's champion, is going to go up against Allie from Impact Wrestling. Sam Shaw is going to go up.
Huh?
Wait a minute.
What?
Jazz is the women's champion.
Yeah, the NWA Women's Champion.
Is this 2000?
I think so.
Oh,
She's still
whatever.
kicking ass.
There's another thing that made me say, huh, too.
hey,
as well.
hey, she's still kicking ass. She's still kicking ass, dude. So Sam Shaw's gonna go up against Crazy Steve, and also David Arquette will be at this event. Just so happens that Josephus is reaching out to him to clear his mind, and it looks like they're gonna be teaming up. If Josephus is gonna get to David Arquette, don't want to screw up with Josephus because he's a dangerous wrestler. The NWA Heavyweight Championship will be defended. Nick Aldis will be taking on up against the Tennessee Cowboy, James Storm.
Oh, that's good.
That's the
good
NWA
match.
Championship.
Yeah.
It was announced last week.
Some old TNA.
Yes, that is true.
Beer money.
And also, I want to give a shout out to the RKJ man for this because he did fill me in this whole thing. It is true. Shout out, yeah, Chris Jericho. There will be Chris Jericho Cruise Part 2, Second Wave. More details this January. So stay tuned for that one because it was a success a couple of months ago. And I want to ask you guys a question right now. What time is it over in New York City?
It's 9:03.
9:03? Okay. So right now there is a MSG WWE live event going on around. And this individual is over there in Broadway. This individual wants to know how you're doing.
Are you kidding me?
Enzo again?
Yes.
Why is he around the WWE?
Come on, man.
So this
Why?
is what he said. I gotta tell you something, okay? It's very important information that you need to hear. Understand, absorb, and let become a part of your mind.
please help me.
Real simple.
Give me
December
strength,
26th
Jesus.
is the
Lead
day
me to the
after
cross.
Christmas. And the crazy anomaly here is that it's going to be better than Christmas Day itself because I'm going to be standing on Broadway live. That's right. I said live. Do you understand the concept here? Okay, because you look like you have a hard time understanding things. I'm speaking as clearly, as diligently
Who in the
as
hell trusts to
anybody.
invite someone then
What is he
insult them in the
talking
same?
about?
He's on crack cocaine. Okay,
Yeah.
he's on the highest grade
You've
of
ever
crack.
heard in your life. Enzo is on Broadway. How you doing? And this is actually a commercial that he did, NWO style. The following announcement has been paid for by Enzo.
Okay,
Stop
that's
it, man. Come on, man.
I'm sick of it. I'm sick of that
you
little
want to change your Ryan
raccoon.
Rant?
No, I'm sick of that little raccoon. that little raccoon is running around here, squirrel with his hair.
What's so funny is that MSG starts at 7 p.m. and his show starts at 11:30 over in New York.
Nobody's gonna go to a
And
show.
nobody's gonna go to his show.
I'd
mean-
rather watch a bowl game.
I'd rather watch my dog pooping than to watch Enzo Amore. It's more entertaining, obviously.
still shit?
It's
They're both
great.
shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude.
It's more
The
entertaining.
real one, BS, right, is back at it.
I can't take him anymore, man. That Live 30 for 30 where he disses
Yeah.
Liv Morgan, man.
This stupid.
Like you're the problem, man. You got with the ugly stripper, allegedly, or whatever. You got with the ugly stripper, man. Like, don't be getting with ugly strippers if you cheating on your girlfriend, man. How about you don't cheat on your girlfriend, your wife, period. But if you're gonna do it, don't do it with ugly strippers. That's not a way to go, man. Then boast about it on your rap album. Come on, bro. Yes, this dude is just like, he's a waste of
Trying
time.
to get his name out there.
energy,
Yeah.
and he's not getting
How
his
many
name out
people
there.
were at his show in LA
was it?
again?
Yeah,
Do
it
you
was
remember?
50.
It was a bust, and I
He
heard
knew
it was awful.
He knew what I was going to ask before I even asked it.
And on top of that, he's going off the. He says, "Oh no, I want to stay away from WWE. I'll never be in the WWE again." Where he knows that's who his audience is. Nobody knows him besides the WWE audience. Not if I go down the street right now, across to the taco place across the street next. Does anybody know who Enzo Amore is? They would shoot me.
Well, that's not his name. You gotta say, does anybody know who real one is?
They don't know who
Yeah.
real one
Or
is.
Eric.
NZO.
Or Eric Arnett.
Yeah.
Do you know who the NWO is? NWO is? Oh yeah, I love the NWO. I mean, like, come on, man. Like Enzo Amore, man, you got to get it together, bro.
If you look
I'm being generous
Yeah.
to you. I'm being generous to you. One more outburst, and I will do a ether Ryan rants on you. I will ether you on Ryan rants. Okay, one more outburst.
You
and,
know it's gonna happen,
and,
man.
and I'm going to ether you. It will be in 2019, man. The Beta Male Bitch Club. I'm going to bring that fully out.
Dude, it's what he's. You gotta compile a list of people that you put on it, though.
Yeah.
Well,
so we can
I
have
was
a
gonna
celebration.
put Offset on it, and then apparently he got with
Offset-
Cardi B again. He got with Cardi B again. Apparently they hooked up in their vacation, so he was dancing with a ski mask on or something to Michael Jackson. To the way you make you.
It's like Seth Rollins the other night in Raw.
Yeah.
With the stuff.
Yeah.
Attacking Dean Ambrose.
Okay, I'm sorry, Eric. We took over your
Oh
segment.
no
but
worries. I actually wanted to
No,
get to that part
yeah.
because when I was like looking up this stuff, all of a sudden Enzo Amore showed up on my.
I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, and it just so happens that he's in the same area where WWE's going to be is at right now.
It
doing the
doesn't
MSG.
just so happens. That's the way he sets it
Yeah.
up. And all the promoters who set him up do it outside of WWE events because they're praying to God somebody comes over there and from the WWE events, you know, so that's what they're going for. And I understand how they're doing it, but it's hypocritical on Enzo. It's hypocritical Enzo right here. You know, because he says how he doesn't want to be associated with the WWE anymore, how he's done, he's not going to wrestle anymore, but yet he's piggybacking off them. We literally were there in person live.
Oh, yeah, we did.
And you know what's funny? You had a part, here's how he could still do it and why he's still getting booked. People in the audience were chanting, oh my God.
Yeah,
put it up to the thing. Put it up to the microphone.
It's black and white like the NWO.
Yeah, it's black and
what
white.
it is, yeah.
It's crazy, man. That's actually good audio, Eric. That
Put the
sounds
volume
good.
in the phone.
Yeah.
Up to it.
You're gonna
Well, it's
insult
because you're an
me?
idiot. And so
You're gonna
that's why.
insult me while you're trying to invite me to something? That's like asking a girl on a date and then saying, "Hey, you look a little fat. You need to lose a couple pounds before we go on a date." You
That's a
know?
really good example of it.
you need to lose some weight before you go on a
Hey,
date.
you suck. Like, come to my show, please.
please come to my show.
Yeah.
I mean, but we saw half the crowd saying, "Let him stay. Let him
I am
stay."
surprised that there were a lot of people that
Because
want
It's
Enzo.
dumb. Yeah, I know. It's like the people that still chant CM Punk. Come on. You know?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? They're chanting him tonight because guess what? There's also a portion of the WWE in Chicago.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
All right, you have your dream match?
Well, I did, but I actually want to use the same dream match that I had over on Slam and Saturday because I did ask my good buddy about this whole thing. It is kind of crazy, but this is a free-for-all, and I will ask you guys this question. If these two men were alive, boxing ring, wrestling ring, or an octagon, who would win in this one just to settle the beef once and for all? Tupac versus Biggie.
Tupac. Tupac was thinner. Tupac, he had some gangster in him. He learned it. He was in jail, man. He was in prison. Biggie didn't go into
Oh,
prison.
no.
I don't think.
Here's the thing, though. Biggie was actually
A
a
drug dealer.
true gangster
Yeah.
who was always a gangster. Tupac kind of became a gangster and went to Catholic school and stuff, I'm pretty sure. Went to private school. So, no, I think Biggie's got all... Plus, Biggie's got the size on him completely. Good match, though.
Heavyweight, yeah.
Who's
Yeah.
better lyrically, Biggie or Tupac?
I think they're equal. I'm not gonna. I love
They got their own
California
style.
Love.
I think
Both got their own
I
style.
think slightly Tupac.
I love
Slightly.
California Love. That's probably one of my favorite songs ever.
Yeah.
But I also like Coming Back to Cali and the one
Going
back to Cali. Yeah.
back to Cali.
As
Cali.
far,
I like that one,
yeah,
too.
As
So
far
it's-
as like going hard, Tupac definitely.
Shout outs
Biggie,
to Tupac.
it's more a flow, if anything.
Biggie, let's see. Biggie's the type of dude you can roll a blunt with, you know, get turned up, you know, and have a good time. You know,
Yeah.
you listen to some good music. He doesn't have a lot of turn up songs.
Yeah.
Tupac's got a lot of turn up songs, and he's got a lot of songs in his vault that he was
Oh,
making
yeah.
before he died because he had this fear. Rightfully so, that he was gonna die
both of
soon.
them, both
so
of
he
them.
just stayed in the
Yeah.
studio making. I remember one time. Remember when we did Thirsty with Arcade Jimmy, and I thought I
Yeah.
revealed a new Tupac song on there.
Yeah.
I forgot what it was, but it was him. It was Too Tight. It was something like that. And I saw him do it. Like I really saw the recording of him doing it. It was
Yeah.
really good. I actually saw them live in the studio running it back as they were singing the melody for that song. Too Tight, yeah.
yeah,
But it
damn,
was
man.
with MC Hammer. It was a
Yeah.
good song actually.
Yeah,
I think I
I'm-
put it up on the system.
Yeah, I mean, just those two guys. If anything, they had to like settle their beef. You know, it doesn't matter. Octagon, boxing ring, wrestling ring. I think it would just like get a lot of eyes on that fight.
Yeah, I think they made peace though before they died, but
Probably.
gotta love them.
Yeah, that's interesting. You have a
Nah.
match? I have one. I thought about this is just a simple one because I was looking at that WrestleMania 17 card. Obviously, all those crazy tag team matches they had with the tables, ladders, and chairs,
TLC.
and ladder, all that stuff.
Steel cage.
I think just simply adding the Revival to one of those matches as a fourth participant would have been really interesting because of their style and their no flips, no all that stuff.
They're very old school.
Yeah,
flips,
I
just
think that would have been
fists.
because you would have had Edge and Christian who were kind of high flyers but were in the middle. Bubba Ray and Devon who weren't high flyers but used tables. Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy obviously who are high flyers, and then the Revival who are just these complete. Literally, you have every element of wrestling in that match
Yeah.
with weapons. I just add them into it, and that I think would have been a very interesting modern thing to do.
I think that would be a pretty good
Yeah, I
match.
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we've been going kind of long on this podcast. Do we want to just do all the segments right now and get into UFC and just finish the podcast off with that? Because-
Sure, why
Yeah,
not?
yeah,
Why
let's do
not?
it.
So let's do. Why don't we do Ryan Rance.
Because you almost went Ryan Rance on Enzo in a way.
Yeah, it's true.
This is gonna be a very easy, simple Ryan Rants. It's the end of 2018. I just got finished with Christmas, and everything is good, in my household, and I'm very happy and blessed going into 2019.
Not everything's good though.
But the Carolina Panthers
Oh boy.
have made me look like a dumbass. We started 6-2. Okay, we had at least an opportunity to clinch a playoff spot. And this past week, we officially got eliminated from the playoffs. Now, I'm not as pissed off with that as much as I'm pissed off with the fact that Ron Rivera is still our head coach. The fact of the matter is this. Ron Rivera has been unable to make adjustments ever since that halftime in the Super Bowl. Why was Mike Rimmers stuck alone against Von Miller? If we would have just given him some help or even kept Greg Olsen to chip in or block, the fact of the matter, Ben, we may have been raising that Lombardi trophy over the Denver Broncos still because Peyton Manning and that offense still couldn't go down the field against our defense. Ever since then, though, the Carolina Panthers have been absolute garbage. I mean hot garbage, on another level of garbage. And Cam Newton is more focused on getting strippers pregnant than to winning Super Bowls. He's more focused on having babies. He has more kids than he does NFC championships. That is unacceptable to me, Cam Newton. The fact of the matter is this. We don't have an offensive line. Our center, our Pro Bowl center, is leaving after this last game against the New Orleans Saints. We started off 6-2, but over the last 7 games, we've had losses against the Cleveland Browns, the Detroit Lions, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and let's not forget what started us off, that terrible loss against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Cam Newton can't throw a pass past 8 yards now. It doesn't make any sense. What is the future of the Carolina Panthers? Well, let your friendly RKJ man tell you, and I hope Jared is listening to this, Nick.
Boy.
The fact of the matter is this. What we need to do in the draft is we need to find another quarterback. Yes, that's right. You find a quarterback. You push Cam.
I agree.
If Cam Newton does not make it for you, you insert that quarterback in to push Cam. And if Cam Newton has trade value at the end of next year, you trade his ass. You let him go somewhere else. I am sick and tired of Cam Newton coming up looking like a pimp, and we're celebrating it. It's okay when you're winning. I'm okay showing it in the Ring Journals group chat when we are 6-2. But when we have lost 7 straight games and you're turning up and dancing in practice, like, I don't give a shit about what you're listening to in
dancing
practice.
with time on the clock at the end of halftime and then throwing an interception on the next play? I loved that on Monday Night Football.
And DJ Moore is not the answer. DJ Moore has a fumbling problem. All you got to do is ball up your fist and hit the ball really hard, and it's going to come out of DJ Moore's hands. Let me explain something to you. When your team is 6-2 and they lose 7 straight games, a lot of things should happen. One of them is that coach needs to get fired. Ron Rivera, my friend, you hit the jackpot. You are lucky that David Tepper allegedly is talking to another team or to teams around the league and saying to be patient. I know who he's talking to. He's talking to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Well, you see what's going on with the Pittsburgh Steelers, Ron Rivera and David Tepper? Yeah, I don't think they're the best team to talk to right now. The fact of the matter is this. Change is good every now and then, and the Panthers need change. And I wonder if Cam Newton is more okay being a fake fashion icon and a father of almost a basketball team than winning a Super Bowl, because it seems like that. Cam, if you're like that, bro, then you can go into another profession, because guess what? We are all about winning Super Bowls. I'm the RKJ man. I'm always shooting my shot for greatness.
It's a good one. Yeah. I think what the Panthers should do is.
And by the way, it's not allegedly. It is confirmed. His the woman is stripper.
I
think he has
stripper theme.
He has multiple kids with 2 women actually.
Yeah, I think
He has 2 daughters.
Cam's
So it's
injured.
like Flavor Flav.
I think they should give him. I think they should let him have shoulder surgery.
How many more times are we going to deal with his injury? I told this.
No, listen. No, I think they should let him get shoulder surgery, like Andrew Luck. He's out for a year. It's like Tommy John surgery in baseball. Sign over like a Nick Foles or a solid backup to be competitive next year, or draft a guy. But usually draftees don't end
time
up
for that, Nick.
Yeah, no, it's 1 year. 1 year sacrifice.
Luke Kuechly is 27. I don't know how many more years he's got with the way he hits people.
No, agreed. You guys are in trouble.
Christian
but the
McCaffrey.
The only way you guys don't just start completely rebuilding is if you have a plan for Cam after his shoulder. Because he gotta have shoulder surgery, dude. He can't even throw the ball. Can't throw the ball.
Well, my thing with Cam Newton has been the way he plays. I knew he was not going to keep that going into his 30s. And he is 29 years old. It was okay 3 years ago. It was okay when he first came into the league. But the defenders have caught up to him. They know what his weakness is. The defenses have caught up to them. They know what his weaknesses are. The fact of the matter is this: Cam Newton's accuracy has got to get better. Before that Pittsburgh game, I saw signs of some struggle in Cam Newton's arm. Even before TJ Watt, and my cousin said this, well, ever since that TJ Watt hit in that Pittsburgh blowout game, his arm has been messed up. I'm like,
It's been since last year, to be
the
honest.
fact of the matter is this, okay? Cam Newton's arm situation has been an issue before he had shoulder issues. He is not accurate, but he was accurate throughout the first part of the year, but those were dinks and dunks. Norv Turner took away the deep ball. He took it away, but the defenders started defending the deep ball. The only thing defenders can't defend is Christian McCaffrey. Shout outs to my boy Christian McCaffrey. Excuse me. I did not want him to
Should've
be a
made the Pro
Carolina
Bowl. Should've made
Panther.
the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, he needs to be in the Pro Bowl. He's going to get in. Somebody's going to make it in, and he's going to get in. Christian McCaffrey should be in the Pro Bowl, and Christian McCaffrey is the number one player on our team, even over Cam Newton. I would argue he is the most important player on the Carolina Panthers right now, over Cam Newton, because you can go out there and you can find another Cam Newton. You can't find a lot of Christian McCaffreys out in this league, man. I just think at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, I think Cam Newton's career is winding down, at least as a Carolina Panther, if he doesn't step it up at this point in the game. I'm sick and tired of all these injuries. All right, Nick.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna go into Nick's good rant, by the way. We're gonna go into Nick's random segment of the day, and to keep it random, we're gonna talk about some random bowl games because bowl game season has gotten a little ridiculous. The last couple of years, they keep adding bowl games for more irrelevant teams. I'm not even gonna get to the teams they're playing in these matchups. I'm just gonna give you a list of some of the dumbest and most ridiculous names in college football as far as bowl game names. Okay, so I have a couple here that would be interesting.
The
Now,
heck?
we talked about we talked about the Serve Pro First Responder Bowl. So the First Responder is not the sponsor of the bowl. They created a bowl called the First Responder Bowl to honor first responders. Serve Pro was the.
I don't even know who half of these people are until they do bowl games.
No, exactly.
Like, I didn't even know they exist.
No, exactly. And if I told you the teams, you'd probably stop listening to the podcast, so I'm not going to do that. But so the First Responder Bowl, unfortunately, was canceled today. We know we all wanted to watch it, but it was canceled.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wanted to watch Boston College so badly.
Here's the one interesting. This is a gimmicky one because of our mutual friend, the Jared Birmingham Bowl.
Are you kidding
Yeah,
me?
I swear to God, that's not
Jared Birmingham?
The Jared Birmingham Bowl. Yeah.
Shout out to Ricochet.
Yeah, Jared had a pretty good match with Tyler Breeze on NXT the other day. The Red Box Bowl is we all like renting movies still and don't care about Netflix.
Netflix has not gotten a bowl game yet?
No, not yet.
No,
Not yet.
Netflix needs to hop on this thing, man.
The Cheez-It Bowl, legit. These are not jokes.
I know, I saw that.
Yeah.
That's
The Cheez-It Bowl, the Walk-Ons, Independence Bowl.
the walk-ons.
Walk-ons,
walk-ons.
like
Is that
walk-on players.
is that
That's what
like-
I assume it is.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Dedicated to walk-ons.
The Makers Wanted Bahamas Bowl.
That sounds like somebody. That sounds like a family that's wanted for some murder crimes.
Makers Wanted. The Academy Sports Plus, like the Sign Plus Outdoors Texas Bowl.
I swear you were going to say
that's
the
like Carl-
Academy Awards Bowl.
That's like
No,
Carl. That's like
Academy-
Carlton's. That's like Carlton's team right there.
So here's a couple that I didn't actually write down. The Churbundi Boca Raton Bowl.
What?
Yeah.
What is that?
It's right here. It says it
What
right
is the
there.
Churbundi?
Outrageous names,
Yeah,
dude.
What's
UAB, Alabama, Birmingham. Shout out to the Blazers. The Raycom Media Camellia Bowl.
I know what Raycom Media is. That's in the South. That's in the South.
Okay,
Raycom
so
Media
you
used
know.
to sponsor ACC games, and now they've been taken over. They're getting very small, but they clearly got enough money to sponsor bowl games.
And
so.
here is my top dumb bowl game name. Okay?
All right.
The Bad Boy Mowers Gasparilla Bowl.
Are you kidding me?
I
guarantee you they
not
got a bunch of
Gentile
black
thing.
teams. I guarantee you it's two black teams.
Let me see who it is. Let's see who it is.
I guarantee you it's two black teams.
It's Marshall and South Florida.
2 black teams.
There you go.
Keeping
a
it
lot of
black.
black people.
Keeping
Well,
it
to be
black.
honest,
Black
most
people.
football
It sounds
teams
like
are
some-
black teams
Sponsored by
nowadays.
P.
I'm
Diddy.
just kidding.
P. Diddy. Sponsored by P.
Did you
Diddy.
hear what I said?
What?
I said most football teams are black teams.
Yeah,
now.
that is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Stay black.
Yeah, so that's Nick's random segment. Just wanted to give you guys some of the dumb bold names.
Makers
if you didn't know.
Wanted.
Makers
Makers
Wanted. I
Wanted.
think that's an alcohol. I think it's a whiskey. Yeah, it's whatever Shannon Sharp is drinking on the air.
So what? So what? So like literally like it must be so awkward for the kids there. What's Makers Wanted?
Yeah.
Like,
Or if you go, hey, we're playing in the First Responder Bowl. That's random, but it means nice. I got canceled.
it got
Oh,
canceled.
we got
wow.
prepared.
And you
all
know
this-
it's not important too, because they're not going to reschedule the game. They're just going to cancel, and the teams are just going to have whatever record they have for
Yeah.
the season.
And it's nobody gets paid extra or anything like that.
Nobody gets paid.
Yeah.
And by the way, real quickly, let me go on a quick rant and say that college football, I'm getting ready to boycott it next year because
Alabama.
They need. First of all, Alabama's winning too much. It's getting boring, and then they're the New England Patriots of college football. And then also number 2. It's the same teams. There's nobody from There's not UCF. There's nobody from a non-Power 5 conference being able to get into these major 4-team playoff games. UCF has been undefeated for 2 years, and they still have not gotten into a major bowl game. I want to see them up against Alabama.
They have to eventually create an 18 playoff.
It's
Because if you look at the 8 teams, there's probably 8 teams that could win the national championship every single year. And you don't want to not allow those teams in there. This year there was 6, maybe 7, and then you just add that 8th team to get killed.
Does Michigan deserve to be in the college? Because I think Michigan's number 8. So
No,
you're
but
telling
people would watch Jim Harbaugh versus Nick Saban in a bowl game.
yeah, I agree.
You know what I'm saying? So UCF deserves to be in. If you're undefeated for 2 years, you deserve to be in.
But the
So-
question the axe is, Nick, and I don't want to take it over because this is not cover 2, but I think this is good because y'all ain't gonna.
we
have
didn't
a
do cover 2 this week.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah,
so
so
this
it's
will be
fine.
your cover 2.
And it is
Kinda,
Wednesday. It
it'll
is
be kind of
Wednesday.
your cover
This is
2.
now Nick's cover 2 segment of the day.
This will be your cover 2 fix for this
Yeah, yeah.
week until Nick and Jared come back to talk playoff football in the NFL. Do you think that if they have a playoff system with 8 teams, do you think it devalues the regular season? Because I see a lot of people saying they shouldn't have 8 teams because it devalues the playoff system or the regular season.
No.
Like conference championships wouldn't mean anything. It's all about just getting to that 8th seed and let's get into the playoffs.
No, because there's 130 teams that compete. If you had, let's say they expanded the NFL playoff to 20 teams or something like that, then you'd be like,
Then the Panthers will make it.
well, that's
Jesus.
yeah, exactly. And like the only teams not making it would be like the Cardinals and Raiders, right? Like so it'd be like, well, some of these teams do not absolutely deserve to be in the playoffs. Okay, you're picking 8 out of 130. I'm bad at math, but that percentage is very low, right?
suck at math.
It already was
We're
ridiculous
broadcasters.
with picking 2 teams, and now it's 4, and now it's 8. I said, crazy enough, you could actually do a 64-team playoff by just having everybody play their conference with no conference championship games, and everyone would be playing the same amount of games, and the finals would be the finals would have the final 2 teams playing the same amount that they already do. So you're not playing extra games, kids aren't getting hurt, stuff like that.
That's confusing, but okay.
No, and the ratings would be bad. But no, it doesn't devalue the regular season because there's still going to be upsets. There aren't 8 teams that dominate college football. There's 2 or 3, but there's also one basketball team that dominates basketball. There's a football team that's been dominating the NFL for 17 years now. The Dodgers have been in the World Series twice. The Red Sox have been there. You know what I'm saying? So
The Yankees.
Yeah, there always is those top teams, but that's why you add more, and that's why you have playoffs, legitimate playoffs, to give other teams a chance.
Look, I just think it's unfair that UCF goes undefeated 2 years in a row.
Agree.
And they're on New Year's Day playing in some game that nobody's going to watch because they're too hungover. Like, that's what they schedule them at a time like the Chick-fil-A Bowl or something. Like, nobody's
That's
watching
kind of
that.
a ridiculous name, too.
Like,
Chick-fil-A Bowl. We just got used to it, but
Yeah.
it's Chick-fil-A Bowl.
But the problem is, like, it's all about the money. It's all about not playing these players. And that's why I think Vince McMahon has got to come to these...
Come on, man.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Come
How
on.
did you bring wrestling into
I
this?
mean, I'm just
XFL?
saying,
That's why Vince McMahon needs to be out of power.
XFL, man. I mean, it's ridiculous what's going on here. These college players are missing out on high quality. And think about it. You think a person at UCF doesn't want to play against an Alabama, so if he goes off, he shows the world in NFL scouts at these games like, hey, I'm good. You should think about picking me instead of this Alabama player.
And I agree with that in the sense of that if you look at UCF, they've been talking all this shit about how they're national champions. Okay, then you get to play Alabama. Then they get their ass whooped and everyone, and then they tuck their tails and they go home and they're like, that's why you shouldn't have been in the playoff. But at least let it happen.
But that's
let
what
it happen.
But we saw it with Boise State. We saw it with Fresno, Utah, and all these other teams. Give them a chance, and you never know. It's always great to see the underdog. People like David versus Goliath.
People don't like Alabama. People don't like the Patriots. People don't like the Golden State Warriors. But people do like the Lakers whooping their ass with a bunch of 20-year-olds. People do
and
like
Rondo.
People do like throwing a Hail Mary against the Patriots a couple weeks ago. And people
not Hail Mary, that was like a lateral.
Well, lateral's even crazier, right? And people do like, the baseball team that upsets that doesn't happen as much because you play a lot of games, but you like to see that Atlanta Braves in the playoffs randomly when they weren't expected to, or something like that. So, give a team a chance. Like you gave Divas a chance, give college football.
I just think honestly, I just think there's
good tie-in right there.
There's so much collusion. There's so much collusion in college sports. It's almost as crooked as our media. I mean, as our government. Excuse me.
They both apply.
Our government.
It's the same.
And by the way, Nick, did you listen to that podcast episode I sent you over in the group chat?
What was it?
It was the Flagrant 2 podcast.
No, because I haven't been getting notifications for Instagram sometimes, so I have to just go look at it.
It was on the Facebook group chat.
Oh, it was on the Facebook group chat?
I'll send it to you.
I did not, because I had a very busy weekend trying to get presents and stuff like that.
I'll see it to you. I'll send it to you again. It was a great episode. But basically, what she was saying is the girl was the wife of Brent Grimes was saying how the NFL is so corrupt and how they'll put out fake news and fake media these teams will adjust to hinder these players from signing these big contracts. They'll mess with them. They'll hold on to information that's deadly, that's dangerous, until it's time to come up with their new contract.
Yeah.
And so they'll try new things and try different things. So I think the same kind of applies to college. Like we want to keep these players down. We want them making pennies while we're making millions. We're eating filet mignons and steak. These dudes are barely able to afford a $1 meal at McDonald's. Yeah. It doesn't make sense. It's not fair.
And then you don't allow them to make money because, you're cheating. You're gaining.
It's ridiculous. It needs to be changed. So I'm thinking, based off the college football playoff and how it is right now with Alabama always making it in and how crooked sports is, and especially college football is, I may have to boycott college football next year.
And if the college football players ever want that money, they better not play. You got a complete boycott of college football. That's the only way they're going to get paid.
Or just wait one more year, go to the XFL, bro.
It's true. It's a good point. But you still got to play college football, though. If you can't go from high school and play football, it just doesn't work. I mean, imagine my brother though going to the NFL right next year.
That'd be.
See what I mean?
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, he wouldn't be ready for that.
So just kids aren't big enough. They're not ready. But we need to transition into.
Yeah, we're getting off topic.
A bunch of fighters that are ready to fight this weekend. UFC 232.
Hit him to the left, hit him to the right.
Before we get to the card, I want to get your guys' thoughts on the UFC moving UFC 232 from Las Vegas a week prior to this event to the Forum in LA. Essentially saying F you and putting their middle fingers up to the fan.
I would be pissed if I bought tickets. Why did they do that, Nick?
And they did that because John Jones couldn't pass a drug test in Nevada, but could pass one in California.
You bastard.
You talk about collusion? This is
what pisses me off, okay?
Ryan Rants.
You buy a ticket in Las Vegas for something, and just because the athlete is not responsible enough to do what he needs to do, you move it and you piss off the fans in Vegas.
Let me give some context on this, though. The reason John Jones failed the test is because the same substance that was in his system on his last test just decays at a lesser rate than other stuff. So it was still trace amounts in his system, even though he hadn't actually done more of it.
Nick, what was in the system?
Well, it was whatever. I don't know. The word's hard to say, and I'm not gonna try to. I'll look it up in a second if you want the exact thing.
I got you. Complicated pharmaceutical.
It was something, and that's the reason that he can fight now because we thought he was suspended for like 2 years. Yeah. So that is what happened. The California Athletic State Commission said, "Hey, we don't do tests like that. We understand what's happening. We're not going to be that tough on you if you want to fight in California, we'll pass you. That's what they said. So
What?
yeah, because the athletic commissions are not all the same. It's not the UFC just doesn't run every drug test. It's why the New York State Athletic Commission kind of sucks, and that's why a lot of those fights were canceled last second. It's why the California State Athletic Commission will let Chuck Liddell get in there and get his ass knocked out, and Nevada would never do that. And it's why Nevada is the best fight state because they have the most strenuous tests, but also they have the most strenuous tests, so there's a lot of last-second cancellations of fights. So that is why this fight has been moved to LA. But
It's actually the Forum.
You know
Yeah,
what?
it's a
Sometimes
form. Yeah.
sometimes I think they should just let these tests just go away and just let them do it. Sometimes we just
get
Yeah.
steroids,
like,
right?
just
Just
I don't
pass
care.
them, even if you're on,
You know what
even
I'm
if you're on the
saying?
juice,
Yeah.
right?
I think
Yeah.
if it's a big enough fight, I think they'll be like, hey,
Yeah.
this is John Jones versus Brock Lesnar. They'll be like, yeah, well, we'll just
gonna
let it
make a lot
pass.
of
This will
money.
be more entertaining if they're both jacked to 300.
Yeah, honestly, it will be.
Yeah.
I've seen Brock Lesnar off the juice. He needs to get on the juice.
Yeah, exactly. Eric, what's your
Look
thoughts
a
on
little
the
pudgy there, bro.
Yeah, Eric, what's your thoughts on the move to LA after knowing all those results and stuff like that?
Well, first
Yeah.
off, we would be lucky if we would actually go and see that fight for us Californians. But for the people in Las Vegas,
How about anybody that just flew in though, too? You have hotel
anybody who flew in from out of state, even out of the country, I would be so
go to-
furious.
go to the club.
I would be so
Yeah,
furious.
Alexander Gustafsson, I think is
yeah.
I don't believe he's American. I think he's from Sweden.
Yeah, anybody,
So you've got
even
a lot
from
of
Sweden,
fans from Sweden.
even from Sweden.
So there's a lot of Sweden
flying
fans,
from-
Swedish fans coming
Yeah,
in.
Think about how much money these fighters are missing
Yeah.
out on too, because a lot of these fighters have like Vegas will do like
Yeah.
fight night parties and stuff like at these clubs
Well,
after the
big,
fight.
big question.
Eh,
Like,
LA
they'll-
probably does
yeah,
that
they'll
kind of
Well,
do
big
it,
question. Will
but
they?
it's not as
Will they be?
good.
Will they give them a refund? Will they be giving?
Yeah,
them,
they said they gave all the fans a refund, and if they're willing to get to LA, their tickets apply,
Yeah.
and they'd figure it out. Like they would figure out what seats would apply in that arena, because I think there's less seating in the
Staples.
Forum.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Then-
Forum. It's not even Staples.
It's
It's
no,
the
it's the
Forum.
Forum, but Staples has
Inglewood.
just basketball and stuff like that. The Forum, the last thing I
Saturday
know
night.
of was Travis Scott concerts going on there. So I think that's why they said, "Can we do this?" The
Yeah,
fight would have been
it's-
canceled, and it would have been headlined by Cyborg versus Nunez, which is still a
Right.
pretty good fight. But I think
It's-
Dana White's just done with the John Jones bullshit and
Yeah.
them being
No, he's not,
Hard
because
on
John Jones. They moved the fight, Nick, to LA.
No, he's sick of the
Yeah.
stuff surrounding
It's Dana
John
White.
Jones. Yeah, he's sick of them being ridiculously hard on John Jones.
Then
which
why- then
I don't
why-
agree with. I don't agree with. But that's why he said I'm done with the Nevada Athletics Commission with John Jones specifically. So we're moving to LA. If you want to see the fight that bad, come to
Come to-
LA. If
come
not,
to
we'll
LA,
give you a
yeah.
full refund.
Then why did they
Figure it
do
out.
this fight in Nevada? If you know that Nevada has got the most strenuous tests, then
yeah.
don't put your fights in Nevada right now. Or you say, hey, we're
That's a good
blocking
point.
Nevada. And
They
you say,
should've learned
hey,
that from the
UFC,
beginning.
UFC
Yeah,
has
they
all
should've
this
done that.
income, all this money that we're taking away from you guys. Because we're the #1 combat fighting sport that people want to see. It ain't boxing, all right? It is UFC. So if UFC is what you want to see, you don't think Nevada State Commission is going to come back to UFC eventually after a couple of months of them losing money in that state, people getting on them? Because Vegas can get very sketchy.
They should have done what they
Come
did.
on.
They should have done what they did with Brock Lesnar.
is that picture?
Which they should have done what they did with Brock Lesnar, which was just, even though they know that the man's on the juice, just say, hey, let's have you fight, and then after that we'll punish you afterwards. They should have probably just done that with John Jones, because knowing that whatever he had in his system decaying, they should have just gave him a pass just to fight. But Nevada being Nevada,
Yeah, and what's
It's-
interesting is
it does.
I heard rumors about this and I looked this up. So we saw that there was going to obviously be a card at the Honda Center, right, in Anaheim, California. That has now been canceled because of this card in LA as well. They're going to put that event at a different place.
They'll probably try to put it in Vegas.
So now
to make up
people
for the
that went to
fans.
that bought tickets for the Honda Center show now don't get to go to
Thank
that
the
show.
Lord Jesus we didn't buy tickets to that show.
Yeah, that's a good point. But we would also had a lot. We wouldn't have had flown in. The card was supposed to be in January at some point, so you wouldn't be
That's
flying
Royal
into
Rumble
California.
weekend. It was Royal
Yeah.
Rumble weekend.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
remember.
It's very interesting that they would just be willing to kind of give the middle finger to the fans and say,
Yeah.
we want to see the fight. It's probably more important for the pay-per-view buys. We know a lot of people will buy it, so if you're actually going in person, it sucks. which to be honest is the exact opposite of what WWE just did this week. To tie it all in, WWE said we're going to give it to the fans. We're not essentially going to cancel a show a week before.
It kind of makes me
interesting planning right there.
What show are you talking about?
Well, WWE it came out the other day and said we're going to do stuff for the fans, and this week UFC said we're not doing it for the fans. We're going to do it because we want John Jones to
But
fight.
you can afford to do that when you know that the fans still are going to come back to your product.
Yeah.
I don't think the WWE is in a position right now where they have the hardcore fans, I guess. Bruce Pritchard talked about this on the guest booker thing on the kayfabe commentaries. Your hardcore fan is always going to be there. They're always going to be there. Your goal is to build your outside audience. The UFC is going to have a hardcore and casual fan because it's hot right now. It's what people want to see, what people want to get their hands on. Hell, I wasn't even into UFC for a while, but that Khabib McGregor fight and him jumping over the fence, that thing was crazy this year.
Yeah.
And it made me want to buy more UFC fights.
By the way, when you see John Jones fight, and if he wins the way he's won in the past, you're going to like UFC even more.
Oh, yeah.
This guy, John Jones, is unbelievable in the ring.
He's a dangerous man.
And I don't claim to know as much as Nick and Eric do. Like, that's my big thing here. But, I still know enough to know that UFC is very hot. People love talking about it. It's more legitimate than the WWE. WWE doesn't really have a lot of casual fans outside of their core audience, outside the Knicks, the RKJ Mans, the Easy E's, who are going to watch and who are going to watch week in, week out, probably just due to the fact that it's become a force of habit. Guess what? It's not the same thing for WWE when it comes to the casual fan base. People are going to come on during this road to WrestleMania and leave.
Yeah.
UFC, you got people who are in it all year long, man. All year long. And especially if there's a big fight. What are you laughing at?
I'm just looking at...
Oh, Lord Jesus. Is that Greg Hardy?
Hold on, don't give it away.
What?
Don't give it away. The next UFC fight night, they put Kajudo and Dillashaw, which I talked about was going to be at Honda Center.
Right.
They put it at the Barclays Center a week before Royal Rumble weekend now. And Greg Hardy, the former defensive end who most famously beat up women.
Why he was a Carolina Panther.
Yeah, exactly. And then the Cowboys signed him, so that we make the Cowboys the more bad guys.
So me and Jared both had the most terrible. Me and Ricochet had the worst.
Whereas the Cardinals have Larry Fitzgerald, who's the nicest, and this is why I'm a fan of the Cardinals. No, but bragging rights on that. But so that is interesting in its own right. But a lot of changes here. Let's talk about UFC 232 though. Nonetheless, it's changed. It's in LA. It's happening this weekend. The two main events, obviously John Jones versus Alexander Gustafsson. Number 2, this was John Jones's hardest fight of his career. The one fight when he was champion that people said he probably should have lost, but ended up still winning. That's number 2. That happened a while ago back, so the guys aren't the same now, but still at the top of their game. And then of course, Chris Cyborg, who's been just unbelievable, unbeatable, Brock Lesnar, Ronda Rousey type. If you look at compared to WWE,
She's a scary woman.
versus Amanda Nunes, who was before Chris Cyborg was like that herself.
Didn't Cyborg beat Ronda Rousey when she was in UFC?
Cyborg never beat Amanda Nunes. Did, who she's facing. Yeah, they're both Brazilian.
Oh, okay.
Chris Cyborg is, she's a monster in the best way possible.
It's kind of
say that.
Kind of gives me chills whenever I say the name.
Yeah, no, and so that's a big fight that's going on. That's for the women's featherweight championship. I believe that's the second fight of that one.
The second fight,
yeah,
co-main event,
and
right?
Nunes got her ass kicked in that one.
Yeah.
Before, it's co-main event. Other good fights: Carlos Condit versus Michael Chiesa. I see Andrei Arlovsky is in the FS1 card, and it's BJ Penn. Return.
Good God, BJ Penn is coming back.
It's BJ Penn's return to fighting. He's going to be the opening fight on the Fox Sports 1 card.
And that man used to be main event quality.
So a lot to watch here.
I was opening the show.
Uriah Hall is on this card as well. Chad Mendez in one of the main event fights as well. Yep.
Wow.
So a lot to watch. This is one of the better cards. Obviously, the two main events are why you'd watch the fight.
Why
right
you pay
there.
your money.
Yeah, BJ Penn, I want to see how old this guy is.
I think he's like in his late
40.
30. Yeah.
40.
That's old.
Yeah, I want to see the last time he fought.
But then again, Brock Lesnar is like, what, 45?
Yeah, Brock Lesnar.
No, he's like 40.
Brock Lesnar's not the same type of guy.
I guess
this is BJ Penn's first. So he went, he fought in 2012, came back for an Ultimate Fighter fight in 2014. Recently has been on somewhat of a comeback in early 2017, and then has not fought. So this
Wow.
is another
Wow,
yeah.
it's
So
been
it's been a year and a
That-
half
yeah.
since he even last fought. So
That's sketchy, bro.
yeah. But
friend,
so
that's sketchy.
a lot to watch here. We'll just predict the two cards, or the two biggest fights on this card. We'll start with the women's fight: Chris Cyborg versus Amanda Nunes, women's featherweight title fight. What do we think happens in this one?
Eric,
Man,
my friend,
this is
tell
good.
me.
This is
And
good.
by the way, I was wrong. They actually had I was thinking of somebody else when I said she fought Holly Holm
Yeah.
and beat up Holly Holm by a lot. She did not fight this. So this is the first time she's fighting Amanda Nunes. I was
Okay.
incorrect on the. Holly Holm, the same. Anybody that beat Ronda Rousey's ass. They were in my head. So Amanda Nunes, this is the first time they're fighting. So I just wanted to say that before you
Yeah.
predicted, because obviously I
The
want you
only
to-
thing that Amanda Nunes has got to watch out are those strikes that Cyborg brings out, and I think Cyborg is going to unleash everything onto Nunes. Just the only thing I'm going to say to Nunes is just
Keep
stay,
your hands up.
keep your hands up, just stay on her. Last for maybe 2 rounds. I'm gonna have to go with 2 rounds.
We gotta last for 5 to win the fight.
Yeah,
though.
yeah, I know that, but I think I'm gonna see this
You
fight.
want- so we know
I
what
think-
Eric's saying.
I think this fight's not gonna last that long, as far as when it comes down to Chris Cyborg. So Cyborg, she's gonna do everything she can. If the strikes don't work out, then she's gonna have to corner her into the cage, and then just start nailing her and just start elbowing her as much as she can. And I think Cyborg, if anything, the only advantage that she'll get is probably when she's on the ground. If she can get Nunes down at the bottom, I think the scenario will go all the way till round 2
There's
by submission.
in my opinion, there's a killing on live television. Chris Cyborg is winning this in round 1. There's a
okay.
killing in live television
Okay.
getting ready to happen, my friends.
Okay.
I don't mess with Chris Cyborg.
Yeah.
She's a beast.
Chris Cyborg is the most devastating woman fighter ever, and we are a follower of Ronda Rousey here,
Yeah.
and Chris Cyborg would probably whoop her ass.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay,
that's why Ronda Rousey's in WWE right now.
Because if Ronda couldn't hang with Holly Holm and Nunes, what makes you think she can handle with Cyborg?
She would get destroyed, man.
Yeah.
Ronda. Oh my God.
And
Ronda
this-
Rousey was beating up on like
this is
people
like
who
during
weren't ready.
This is like during a time in her life when it was very dark for Ronda Rousey. So I don't think she would be like mentally prepared.
I don't think she's.
she would mentally prepare at the time.
I don't think. I think she needs to just stay in WWE and do her thing. I'm hearing people say, "Oh, Ronda Rousey come back." No, Ronda, just stay in. You'll make a lot more money. You'll be a lot more beloved in WWE than she would right now in UFC. Because she comes back to UFC, she gets destroyed. Your image gets tarnished for the rest of your career.
Yeah, you gotta do the Brock Lesnar thing, come back and whoop some ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he whoops some ass against an inferior opponent.
And was also on steroids.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that was it's a little part of it.
No
yeah,
big deal.
good fight because obviously you have two former. Well, you have one current and one former legitimate champion in UFC as far as the women's division. The one thing I give Nunes a chance for is that Holly Holm did go to decision with her. Was beat down a lot like Brian Ortega was beat down. She's just a tough lady, but
Yeah.
it wasn't
She's
even
got
close.
endurance, that's for sure.
Cyborg won the fight completely, Holly Holm. But so Nunes, I don't think has that in her as much. So I'm gonna go 3rd round knockout here. I don't think it's a submission, as most of Cyborg's fights have been by TKO. So I'm gonna go knockout. But good fight. I think Nunes will get some shots on her, but Nunes ain't no slouch.
Yeah.
But she's just not on that level. And her last 2 fights, she's
yeah,
gone
if-
5 rounds. Still,
What Nunes has
so.
got to do is also he's got to make that chin hard as much as possible in order to make sure that her knockout punches from Cyborg isn't effective. And if that doesn't work for Cyborg, it's going to piss her off, and then she's going to have to go with the chokehold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could happen. Interesting. You look at Nunes, the fighters that she's fought. Nunes has absolutely fought more tough fights.
She has.
You look at, I'm talking about Valentina Shevchenko, Misha Tate, Ronda Rousey, even Shayna Baszler, which is interesting. She's fought in the UFC too. Kat Zingano, who's also on this card as well. So she's fought a lot more big fights, but her last 2 fights have gone 5 rounds and probably shouldn't have. So I don't think she makes it with it because, you're fighting Valentina Shevchenko, great fighter, but not on these 2 women's level. Raquel Pennington, she absolutely should not have gone 5 rounds with. Okay, that should not have happened. So she's trending downward, and now you're facing the best women's fighter of all time in Chris Cyborg, 3-round knockout.
This is gonna be
So
very interesting.
Killing on live television.
that's why I'm glad they're not main eventing the fight because John Jones is making his return for the 16th time now after multiple drug failures.
How many more times?
He will fight. Hopefully he will. He'll make it. We've recorded the podcast on Wednesday. You never know.
Stay clean, you bastard.
John Jones versus Alexander Gustafsson. Like I said, this was John Jones' toughest fight. In his career. Not his only loss. His only loss was back in the day, but. So he went 5 rounds with Gustafsson, unanimous decision. A lot of people said that might have been Gustafsson who might have won that fight. It was his closest fight. So obviously we know he's whooped Daniel Cormier's ass a couple times. Daniel Cormier is clearly a badass.
Yeah.
And he challenged him after this fight.
Yeah, exactly.
For charity.
Yeah, he's the only guy, if anything, is the only guy that DC has to go through in order to try to get that achievement. Yeah.
That's true. And that's you look at Ronda Rousey, if she ever were to keep going and were to be undefeated, her opponent would have been Chris Cyborg. Everyone was saying that back in the day, and unfortunately it didn't happen because Rousey just became didn't end up being the badass that we all thought. Beating easier opponents, and then once the more legit opponents came on, she started to lose.
She got shown up.
But she created, we're not going to disrespect her, she created UFC women's.
She did. She helped
fighting.
a lot.
Yeah, pretty much created it. So, what do we think, guys? I think, actually, I'll do this first because I went last on the last one. I think this is going to be a hell of a fight. This is going to be one of those fights of the year. Now, we've seen a lot of those good ones. Eric and I watched. Who was it? It was
CM Punk versus.
No, that wasn't that one. Don't say that one. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Come on.
Fight lasted what? How many rounds?
Well, he actually lasted the whole time.
Yeah,
3 rounds. Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a ridiculous fight that was. It
was Romero and.
I'm blanking on that. He's Australian.
Dude,
I know what his name is, but I can't remember it right now. Doesn't matter.
That was a good fight, though.
I think this is going to be one of the fights of the year. But John Jones win the fight. I'm not going against John Jones. I've never even seen this guy get close to losing a fight. And the Gustafsson one was close, but I still thought John Jones won that one.
Right.
So, and you can go back on YouTube, by the way, if you haven't seen that Gustafsson-John Jones fight. It's a free fight on YouTube that you can go up and watch. I watched it the other day. Fantastic. But John Jones he can literally do everything in the UFC. So he can submit you. He can knock you the hell out. Elbows come from behind his head. There's just so much he could do. There's no way he doesn't win this fight when there's so many planned big fights for him. I don't think he loses this one. And I think he either goes against Cormier or goes against Mr. Brock Lesnar next. Probably Cormier because Lesnar's
Cormier
not
is
ready,
more of a good candidate.
So I'm gonna go John Jones. I'm gonna go I'm gonna go 5 rounds by decision. I'm not gonna say knockout because I think Alexander Gustafsson ain't no slouch either. But 5 rounds by decision. John Jones will get more strikes and will win the fight.
John Jones, I think, is winning this fight in 4 rounds as some type of submission.
Okay, I think I'm gonna have to go with. I think Alexander will try to get as much as he can up against John Jones, but I think with those surprise kicks with John Jones, those devastating kicks will completely knock the wind out of Alexander's chest and completely just just stun him, and then he will go to work on him.
Yeah, I can see
and
that.
then just pummel him with left and right and just completely destroy him until he is no more. So I think it's gonna go 3 rounds.
By knockout.
3rd round by knockout. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're more interested in what's going to happen after this John Jones fight.
Yeah.
Who does he go up against next? Is it Daniel Cormier? He called him out on Twitter. Is it Brock Lesnar? We know he's been fighting for that, but we know Brock Lesnar's too busy doing WWE, but he also has the rumors of the UFC thing going on. So we don't know what's going to happen. I think I think John Jones is winning this thing. I think people are looking ahead. It might work out for Alexander.
Yeah.
Because
That's true.
Because everybody's looking ahead,
Well,
including John Jones.
yeah.
So it's like, okay, well, this guy's not
John
really.
Jones is too damn good though. He can look
I
forward.
think that question.
Yeah.
I think that question will be answered when Joe Rogan is going to ask him. So there's been a lot of rumors, a lot of fans have been wanting. Who do you want to fight, John Jones? Is it going to be Daniel Cormier or Brock Lesnar?
Well, here's the thing, though. And by the way, this fight is for. I don't have the stupid page up. Give me a second. This fight is for the light heavyweight championship. So that's Daniel Cormier's title.
Yeah.
That John Jones always has continually beat him for. So if John Jones wins, Daniel Cormier is now only the heavyweight champion of the world. So John Jones is fighting for the light heavyweight championship.
So he's gonna have to bulk up if he wants to go up to Brock Lesnar's level. Then
True, but I think
Yeah.
I think most of these badass dudes are naturally around the heavyweight weight. And John Jones says he wants to fight heavyweight, and it's a lot easier to gain weight for a fight, in my
doesn't-
opinion, than
yeah.
lose 30 pounds or whatever they have to lose.
He doesn't
So,
even look like, even though he doesn't look like a heavyweight, but the guy, he's still a dangerous guy if you put him up against another heavyweight dude.
yeah, I'll say this too. When John Jones fights and John Jones does well, Chandler Jones does well for the Cardinals. And when he's not
Oh.
doing well, Chandler Jones doesn't do well. So
man,
for the
you
sake
call
of the
the
Cardinals,
Jones random.
That's why you're going for
They're
John
brothers.
Jones.
They're brothers.
That's why you're going for John Jones.
no, they're brothers.
Are they really brothers?
Yeah, they are.
Absolutely. Chandler Jones, John Jones are brothers.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Arthur Jones too used to play for the Colts.
Are you
They're
sure?
all
Are
brothers.
you not BSing me
No,
right
he
now?
is.
Look,
It is true.
100%.
we'll pull it up right now.
100%. Just like Road Dogg and Scott Anderson, the referee, they're brothers. Do you know that one?
Yeah, I knew that one actually.
I found that the other day. I was like, oh, look at that. But
A lot of family.
also Kane and the Undertaker brothers too. I'm just kidding. So we got Jones and Cyborg, kind of dominating fights, winning. I think the natural look at it is John Jones versus Daniel Cormier if he wins this fight, because Brock Lesnar just is not going to be ready. I don't even think his suspension is over before
6
the next
months?
fight would
It's
happen.
very confusing
Yeah.
what's going on with this thing.
And
'cause
obviously Lesnar will probably be at WrestleMania, so he's going to be doing that till April. I see a summer fight in Lesnar's future, and it'd be against the winner of Daniel Cormier, John Jones. Obviously, because I think if the
Yeah.
loser of that fight is just kind of irrelevant
Because
at that
Brock,
point.
he's basically booked, from Royal Rumble to WrestleMania.
Yeah, but then
And-
once he doesn't necessarily have to be at SummerSlam, and he can.
Yeah.
Wrestling is, after we all know, is not
Because after
a
Wrestle-
real competition, so
Yeah.
you can kind
Yeah,
of BS your way through
Because
it.
after
yeah.
WrestleMania, that's when his contract will expire.
Yeah,
Really?
I did hear he's going to probably sign an extension, or that they already
they're
did.
they
already
got
did.
no other choice.
Yeah.
They don't have anybody credible after Roman Reigns. got
No,
beat.
exactly.
And-
So
and-
I actually did hear something the other day. I'm not saying definitively, but I did hear that there was contract extension talks that were probably going to be followed through.
man, that man's making so much money.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And you know what? It's just perfect for him, man.
Building the way for Ronda Rousey and people like that.
He's
though,
right now
too.
on the couch, just watching hunting shows.
Not
Yeah.
on TV for sure.
No, he's just
He might be at the MSG card. To be honest, he might be in New
Probably.
York. I don't know what the card is. but-
Probably is.
unless Enzo weasels himself away.
I want Brock Lesnar to destroy Enzo Amore. I'm pretty sure that will get a huge reaction from the crowd.
But shit, you talk about a killing on live television.
television.
Yeah.
Well, we saw how far he threw those Singh brothers, man. How far would he throw Enzo Amore?
I think he would throw him the size of the new.
It'll break his neck.
I think he would
Eric
throw
wants
him.
that broken neck for sure too.
I
Yeah.
think he would throw him half the arena, perhaps.
And Brock, he just says
He has the
yeah.
strength. He has
Yeah.
the freakish ability. It's just Brock Lesnar is a freak of nature.
Yeah.
It's kind of like LeBron James, freak of nature. No matter
Yeah.
how old he is,
And I-
LeBron's gonna be a
and-
freak. Brock Lesnar's a freak.
And I think that Brock, he has an idea saying that, this bastard has been annoying on social media, so I'm just gonna throw him out as a good excuse.
I don't think Brock's on social media, to be honest.
I know.
so
no,
I
he
don't-
doesn't care.
He
But
actually has an
Enzo
Instagram.
Amore,
He actually has an Instagram.
There's no way.
He does. I
Is
looked
it verified though?
It is actually. He only
It
follows
does-
two people: WWE and UFC.
really?
Of course. I could have guessed that. I would have guessed Paul Heyman though. Who would follow Paul Heyman?
Nah, he doesn't follow Paul Heyman probably runs the account.
That's why he doesn't
Probably.
follow his wife. I mean, his wife must have she's not have an Instagram.
No,
Sable?
no,
I don't
she doesn't
know.
have an
I don't think
Instagram
so.
anymore, man. They keep quiet, man. They keep quiet lies, bro.
Literally in the woods, in the
Yeah.
middle of nowhere.
In like
Saskatchewan, Canada. Yeah.
Good God.
Watch his. I'm gonna call. I don't know what kind of kids he has. I think he has a daughter. His kids are gonna be like superior athletes as well.
I think they already are. I heard his daughter is a beast.
I heard that too. A wrestler, beast wrestler too. So maybe we'll see another Lesnar UFC champion.
They did go to a hockey game, and then they seem to looks like some of their sons they're gonna go into hockey.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Question for y'all before we get off here. Conor McGregor, what do you think is going to happen with him in 2019?
I think there's only two. Okay, there's a couple fights that could happen. Obviously, the Nate Diaz trilogy.
I don't think people want to see that anymore.
Unless Nate Diaz can go out of his stubborn ways and just say
Jesus,
let's do it, because you know he is.
A Donald Cowboy Cerrone fight, because Cerrone is the all-time leader in UFC wins, and there's not much Cerrone has to do besides beat a legitimate fighter like Conor McGregor. So that's what I've heard rumored.
Not big enough name.
Yeah, it isn't, but I think true UFC fans would be enough to combine with Conor McGregor's lore. I think it'd be a pretty good fight. I think there'd be a lot of good trash talking with that too. And then maybe a Max Holloway. Something like that, but I think he'll fight in 2019. Obviously,
I think what they're going to
Khabib
do is
rematch. Too.
Yeah, that's what I was exactly
That's
what I was
gonna
going to say.
happen.
It's got to happen.
But that's not happening for a while after what happened, though. I don't think that happens for another year. Or
so
something
much
like that.
heat, so much. It
and
just built itself.
And there's also rumors about how they want a boxing match with Khabib versus Conor. I mean,
No,
Mayweather.
nobody wants to see that.
Mayweather.
Mayweather would kill Khabib
Yeah.
because Khabib isn't even a striker.
No, he's not.
He's a
wrestler.
submission expert.
Submission,
Yeah, but that might be the only way Khabib can make money.
John
'Cause
Jones
right now,
versus
Khabib
Floyd
ain't
Mayweather.
making no money. He hasn't been in a fight since that whole.
Literally
epic
didn't even make his
Las
money for the
Vegas.
last
Yeah.
card. What he did.
Well, they gave him
withheld
his
his
money.
check.
They gave him his money eventually after they gave McGregor
afterwards.
his check. So I think 2019 is going to be interesting for a lot of things for UFC, WWE, boxing. So keep it tuned to the Ring Journals. We getting close to the end.
Oh, no, I think we're done.
We're close.
there was a Canelo fight, but it wasn't really interesting.
Oh, versus Rocky something.
Yeah, Rocky Fielding. It wasn't.
He whooped his ass.
Yeah.
That
I was gonna watch it, but I didn't want to
Danzig?
buy that stupid Danzig thing, so I was like,
Plus the commercial annoys me.
yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
Me and my dad and my mom was like, "Hey, do you want to watch it?" I'm like, no. And then all of us we were like unmotivated to be honest.
Everybody's trying to do their own streaming platform now, man. It's becoming as pricier than cable.
Yeah.
You gotta have this platform to watch this show. It's just ridiculous now.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Last episode of 2018.
2018.
Yeah.
What were some of your favorite memories from the Ring Journals in 2018, and what do you expect going into 2019? What do you think?
You know, I was listening like our past episodes the other day. I like the Hurricane Rip one. That was actually and also
I felt kind of bad afterwards because R.I.P. I felt like that would be bad. People wouldn't like that. But.
And I think like my number one episode is the first time when we came down here to do the episode in this studio, the new studio.
I think the number one. Oh,
consensual spoiling. I think that's the name of the episode.
Yeah. Oh, consensual spoiling.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I can't. I'm pretty bad with spoilers, man. But I've gotten better. I think I've gotten a lot better.
He's gotten better.
I've gotten a lot better.
Absolutely.
You've improved,
I think this podcast is lit. When I talk about my car getting caught on fire,
That was pretty
I
good.
still didn't go as crazy. Eric, I remember now, you had texted me during that time, and you said, "Oh my God, too much weed smoking." The whole thing. I was like,
It's
what
Eric's
is that?
just some of Eric's comments or texts to us
Yeah.
are just ridiculous.
Yeah, and I'm just
Smoking crack, like it is
and
just.
I know.
And like in your
I'm a
text,
very extraordinary human being.
and
to be
you
honest.
text me that,
Oh,
and I
yeah.
was so upset. I was like, "What the hell does weed smoking have anything to do with this?"
There's a couple things I like. Some of Ryan's rants where he just says stuff to like Corey Graves stuff. Those have been really good.
Oh yeah.
The one of the podcasts where me and him like legitimately argued on one of this podcast. We got pissed at each other,
got
and then you
heated.
called
You guys
me
got
out
heated.
on the.
What did I call
Yeah,
you
we've
out
gotten
on?
heated a couple times, which has been nice.
What did I call you out on?
You called me out in Ryan rants.
Oh yeah, I did.
rants.
But that
Yeah.
wasn't really the best Ryan rants.
No. I'm talking about just general podcast moments. The times we've just absolutely gone at it and argued. I think that's been
But
good content where people enjoy. When I totally, completely school him on something,
No, that's BS.
and we ask people, and then they go, "Yeah, Nick was right."
That's BS.
So
Look, let it be known, I create ratings, bro. That thing creates ratings, bro.
Best Ryan rant. I'm not sure. I think Jared would have to be in one of them in there.
Yeah,
that
'cause
one.
That was promotion for Cover 2 podcast.
Corey Graves and
Corey Graves is
How about Eric's AAA stuff?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
the,
my God.
That was really
the
good.
YouTube rip.
And I still have to watch the YouTube. I think I gotta watch it tonight.
I sent it to you. I sent
Eric.
that to you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's
really a lot of
good.
good stuff.
Look, 2019
Yeah.
is gonna be huge for the Ring Generals. Why? Because there's a lot of things we're getting ready to do in 2019. So,
Stop hitting this thing.
okay, well, I'm sorry. I'm trying to emphasize.
He's excited,
here.
but he's
Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for the notifications. It instantly
ding,
on
ding.
YouTube, it instantly goes to your phone when we upload something. Also follow us on the Ring Journal's SoundCloud page as well, because this episode might be exclusively on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
So follow us on SoundCloud and YouTube. You get both content. You're gonna get a lot of good stuff. We got a page. We got multiple social medias coming up. We're gonna look to go independent.
Yes,
wrestling.
and we're just to give you guys an update. We're gonna be boasting our social media stuff coming in the 2019 year. More YouTube content because we have some new technology that we'll be using
wanna do
that will help
video.
us out. We're not gonna be relying on a lot of people for stuff. We're gonna be doing a lot of the stuff on our own. And if you know the Wing Channels, you kind of know what we're talking about with that. But still on SoundCloud and YouTube. Going to be potentially, or no, I won't even say potentially. We're going to be soon videotaping this podcast, trying to find the means for that, trying to get a good camera, something like that to use it for. We want to put a quality product up there, not some phone image. So we're trying to find the extra technology. But if you're talking about what it's going to be new for the Ring Generals, more technologically advanced,
We need to
better
get
content,
a guest.
more events, more guest or a guest will be coming on. So we have all this starting to plan it all, stuff like that. This
So
is not just we're not just talking BS.
Hit
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
bell for notifications on YouTube. It instantly goes to your phone. Hit
yeah.
SoundCloud. Instantly. If you're a bot, F off. Okay? All right? Because we don't like bots.
Or a spam. Yeah.
Or spam bots, we don't like you. But if you're legit, hit it. Even if you don't like wrestling, MMA, all that, we have Nick's random segment. And we
Talk
veer
about
off
football
topic.
for like 30 minutes.
We
on
talked
this
about
show.
the Me Too movement on this podcast.
That was probably my favorite.
That was a
podcast.
good one.
That was my favorite.
Yeah.
We had political rants on this one.
Yeah.
We had a lot of good stuff. I enjoyed how personal we get on this podcast
We're
too.
very-
with it. Yeah,
we're very
But this
up
is
close.
not we don't plan a lot as far as what we're going to say to each other on this podcast.
want
We
it to be
plan as far
organic.
as what we're talking about on the show. We're not just randomly talking, but that these discussions are legit, and you'd hear us talk about outside the studio too.
Mm-hmm.
So this is it's why another reason just to follow us and stuff like that. But subscribe. We're running out of time. We're almost at 2 hours right now. So we need to
Yeah,
finish
we're
this.
ridiculous.
151. Jeez, man.
Last podcast of 2018.
Yeah, absolutely.
Our first
we
year, the
might
Ring
not be.
Generals-
I don't think we're gonna be recording one until 2019. So
Our
we gotta,
first,
yeah.
Just get it all out, guys.
We'll get up a year. That'll be
Yeah.
a year we're doing it, man. We're gonna go so big. We need you to tell a friend, tell a neighbor,
Yeah.
tell a person who doesn't even tell your baby mama, tell whoever, your drug dealer. Hey, listen to the Ring Generals. Okay, social media. Eric.
Okay, so find me on Facebook at Eric Santos. Also find me on Instagram _Santos_9. Also check me out on OC Rock Radio. The last show of 2018, Slam Saturday, will be this Saturday, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Thank you, Eternal, for coming to the studio last week, and also thank you for subscribing to the Ring Generals as well. Also,
Shout
more
outs
good,
to him.
yeah, and more good stuff for the Video Game Cafe. I've been streaming as of late because I've had so much busy. I had a lot of busy
It was
stuff to
finals
do.
weeks for
Oh,
us,
yeah.
Christmas
y'all.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't have a chance to play any of my games. But I'll be streaming again, and more greatness awaits in 2019.
Yeah, including a Twitter account for Eric.
Yeah, that's my New Year's
yeah.
resolution for Eric in 2019.
I have a dream.
Yeah,
I have a dream.
that one day Eric will have a Twitter account.
Yeah. We're just gonna make a fake one for
My
you.
my
Me and Nick already talked about it.
my
Bastards.
my stuff.
Thank you.
Exactly. But can't get my stuff out. My stuff is mostly at Nick Nenad, all lowercase. My Instagram almost disappeared a couple weeks
For
ago.
some
I
That's-
thought
reason.
you blocked me.
No,
I
yeah.
thought you
My
were blocked.
Instagram just
Yeah.
disappeared for like 4 hours.
Yeah.
It took me until the next day to figure it out. And it's all good. I just had
I called you and I was like, "Hey, did you block?"
I had to
me?
sell myself for sex for it, but that's just I'm just kidding. No, but so it's all Nick Nenad on most of my stuff at Nick_Nenad on Snapchat. Like I say though, I don't use that much, so don't follow me on that. And then Cover 2 Podcast will be returning to its regular scheduled time. Well, actually, we might be moving to 10 to 12. Not that big of a jump as we do 9 to 11, but Due to just some easier scheduling, might be moving back to 10 or 12 on every Wednesday. So that's my stuff.
Okay.
At RKJman on Instagram, Twitter at RKJman, all uppercase. The RKJman on Facebook, Ryan Johnson. If you want to follow me. You know, just follow us along as our dreams, y'all. And like, I'm looking forward to 2019. Had a great time in 2018. I was blessed to be hanging out with you guys. And 2019 is going to be great. Okay.
More wrestling events.
Yeah. Trust me. 2019 is going to be great. But for now, even when that ball drops on January 1st, raise a glass in the sky and salute the ring generals.